Looks really good.
Good.
I will have pictures posted on Facebook eventually. So,
Excellent. Hey, there's Chuck.
Chuck, Matt, how you doing?
Howdy.
Matt's still connecting to audio.
I had myself on mute so you can't hear me chewing pretzels. Exactly. I figured that might be a bit irritating to those on the other end of the mic.
Nah. Hey, Matt, can you hear us? Because we cannot hear you, and it says connecting to audio.
He cannot.
What does that even mean?
He cannot hear us.
Oh, okay. Oh, he's connecting. There he is. Now we can hear him.
There we go. Hi, Matt.
There you go. Hi, guys.
What's happening,
How are
bud?
you? Just making the magic happen out here in the East Coast.
I hear you.
I was moving about 1,000 pounds of mulch yesterday, and somehow I tore something in the back of my foot, or sprained it. Let's say it's sprained, and so
Oh, why'd you do
Ooch.
I'm invalided up on a boot. So,
Hey, Andrew.
Hello there.
Welcome.
Thank you.
You're in it. So, Matt, did you say you're in a boot?
yeah, just hopefully for, until I go see a doctor. I think it's just a sprain, but I can't put any weight on it. So
That's gotta suck.
my wife has many
Good thing we're
sweet
in zero
tendencies,
gravity.
but,
Yeah.
tender mercies for an invalided adult male, not one of.
Did she punch you?
No, she's just shopping around to find somebody less invalid. She's gonna put me down, I'm sure, behind the barn.
Yeah, you got to be careful, man. This is the age when guys like us become worth more dead than alive.
Yeah,
So basically what you're saying is you pulled a Brian May?
yeah, I guess so.
Did you hear that story?
I don't know what we're talking about actually.
Brian May, the band member from Queen.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Was-
Didn't he do something to? Yeah, go ahead.
He was gardening, and the way he put it, he was extreme gardening, and I have no idea what that means, but he shredded his gluteus maximus muscle.
Ow.
So he hurt himself quite badly while gardening, which
Did he
is
fall
why
into a mower?
I will never garden again.
It's better to be safe than sorry.
Well, I'm sure any of us have been locked down for a while. You go out to Home Depot or Lowe's, everybody and their monkey's uncle thinks they're Bob the Builder now.
Mm-hmm.
So I was joining the ranks of the, oh yeah, I could do that, and decided to move 2 tons of, like you can't get landscapers to get to your house for probably till winter now because they're so full up on outdoor. Like, everybody wants to get their garden nice so they can have somewhere to sit besides their house. So anyway, I was trying to do it yourself and jack my foot up.
Oh.
So that's how you hanging in there.
I'm getting there. We're painting our pool deck, so rained all day today here, so we didn't get a chance to move forward on that project. But
Any bites in the world?
no, nothing yet. I sent out a bunch of applications last week. Haven't heard a peep. And then I've got I'm spent some time today backing them up some stuff today, so I have something to do next week. But no bites yet.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye out for you.
Thanks, bud.
Yeah, I got your back. You heard about Brad too, right?
Nealon, yeah.
Yeah.
That was coming, so I think he knew it. He knew it more than anybody.
What happened to Brad Nealon?
Brad got fired from Omnicom. Omnicom or Starcom?
Publicist. Starcom. He's been on the bubble for some time.
Oh.
They replaced him with somebody younger and less prone to ask questions.
Yeah, they were looking for a yes man, and if there's a lot of things Brad is, but he is not a yes man. No, he's not. He's like he's a no man.
He was a good boss because he let me do whatever the hell I wanted to do and left me alone.
Yep.
So,
he one of his qualities is he does not suffer fools gladly.
He was a no, and here's why, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. It didn't.
If you can explain why it's no, then you're doing it right, actually.
he also always has a dry erase marker in his hand, so he can then turn to his whiteboard and then chart out how wrong you are.
Yeah. Step by wrong step.
Yeah, he goes, all right, let's map this out right here. I'm going to do a bubble chart. I'm going to do a bubble graph here. Here's you in the wrong dumbass corner. Here's me in the totally right corner over here.
Needless to say, this does not always endear him to people.
You see how these never intersect?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
You are never right.
What's the way our friend John referred to him is he says Brad has this polarizing influence on people. It's like you got this. He's got like this outer shell of asshole that it takes a lot of work to sort of get through.
Yeah.
Once you get through it, then you realize that Brad is a really good dude.
Yeah,
But
he's got a soft nougaty center.
yeah, he definitely has a nougaty center, but there's a pretty significant outer shell of asshole that you have to get past, and probably 95% of the people on Earth never get past the asshole outer shell with him.
You know a guy like that at Balaban's.
Yeah,
Yeah, Lady Charles.
But I'm not worried about him. I'm worried about you, Les.
I'm keeping busy, but nothing yet. So we'll get there.
We need to. You remember what was it in Knights of the Dinner Table? Bob always wants to become a professional role player. That was his whole plan. So,
I don't have the
maybe be a professional
accents.
GM.
Chuck pointed out earlier in the week. I don't have the accent talent. I'm not a voice actor.
Yeah, Cockney is not going to carry you very.
No, it's not gonna.
Nope.
It's like I'm no Matt Koval or whatever the hell his name is. That does that show.
What show are we talking about? Knights of the Dinner Table, the comic. What are you talking about?
No. Wasn't there like a popular D&D show where it basically the DM is like this very talented like sort of voice actor and all this stuff, and he does all the voices and everybody loves it, and
We're not talking Harmon Quest, right? What are we talking
what's his name?
Alexa, turn off retreat.
No.
You did.
No, that's not his name.
Alexa, turn off retreat.
Alexa, shut up.
Yeah. I had to get rough with her there.
Do you find that your Alexa is getting stupider? Mine is.
I would say now she comes on once in a while when I'm doing something that I don't want her to be listening to. Like, no, stop listening to that, Alexa.
It's like shooing the dog out of the bedroom.
Yeah, exactly.
You're doing that wrong.
Yeah. Or they just that
I don't need your
curious
advice,
look.
Alexa.
That curious look that the dog makes. It's like, stop it. You're not helping.
Yeah,
Pull her hair.
The next time you go on Amazon, it's a targeted ad for a how to have sex book.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's never good.
Alexa ratted me out. Let me punch up as a quick. Hey, Dan, I just saw that you jumped on.
Hi there.
Hey, buddy. Long time no see.
Been a whole day.
Yeah, it's been a whole day.
How's the Village of Hamlet? It's still standing, or is it burned to the ground?
We've moved on.
Moved on. They have now moved 40 miles east to the coast to the village of Saltmarsh.
I love the Village of Saltmarsh.
Now we're going into a haunted house.
They just entered a haunted house, and the cleric will not be there with them next time.
Yeah, Saltmarsh is one of those towns that may or may not have a sinister secret. So,
does it have a
it
mansion
does.
on the coastal edge there? I remember seeing a mansion on a cliff, if I'm remembering it right.
Yep, that's exactly right. That's the haunted house, mansion on the cliff.
Yeah.
So, but tonight we're gonna play some Traveler instead. So, just want to say, go sports ball, go Asensio sports ball team. First things first. So from last time, a couple of items I'll just go over real quickly. So last time you guys got a lot of information and then moved from Calgary system to Mirabilis to talk with Elrin Spofulam. So basically, before you left Palmer's house, the residue results from Gin said that it was essentially railguns, not missiles, that hit Palmer's summer house. There was no chemical or high explosive residue, no radiation. And you know that among spacefaring races, the only ones that typically use railguns are the Ursay. According to Gin, the projectile was likely a piece of ice, probably a centimeter or two in diameter, moving at about 1/10 of the speed of light, and delivering about 7 to 8 megajoules of energy upon impact. Just the right amount. So not only were they railgun users, but sophisticated railgun users.
Right.
You guys ended up before that. Before it was destroyed, you guys did a remote investigation of the Bettendorf. You looked in Palmer's storage locker and found that the only thing missing was the Steiner Library. He talked to you about what that thing was. Calgary System Authority deployed a containment net around the Bettendorf prior to the fusion reactor going on. What the fuck is that?
Man, what are you doing?
I think that's Matt.
Is that me? What do you hear?
Well, your yellow bar is coming up.
Man,
Someone-
you've got 2 windows.
Someone call the ASPCA. There's cat torturing going on.
Is that an opera in the background?
Oh, it's we were watching Into the Woods earlier, so my wife and son are singing Into the Woods right now.
Oh, okay. That's all right then. As long as everybody's okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
They're not okay. They're watching Into the Woods.
Putting him in the Sondheim life, you know.
It's like, what in the hell? CASA, Calgary System Authority, deployed the containment net, captured the explosion so that the explosion of the Bettendorf did not send a bunch of garbage rotating around and endangering other people's summer homes, which was nice of them. You guys were questioned. Well, Captain Black and Palmer were briefly questioned by CASA about the incident, and no further action needed. You guys went and saw Chopper, who came out to the Gin and Tonic, and over the course of a couple of days, released Dr. Robertson from the cryo chamber. You guys paid her and moved off to Mirabilis.
How many of the crew members did she seduce?
You saw her picture. None, I would guess. She's not. So Chopper is not a what you would call
People want to change their taste these days.
a hyper attractive person. Do we even still have? I think I already sort of put her picture away. But yeah, not pretty. So then you guys get to Mirabilis, and so some of you went, and Spofulam guys collected Dr. Robertson. You guys got an invitation to meet a guy named Elrin Spofulam at the 7 Grand at Ascensio that next evening. Palmer, Palmer and Tam went into the station so Palmer could make a couple of phone calls. He also arranged for Tam to get a body pistol and 2 mags of ceramic ammunition. Weber and Dr. Wagner went to Ascensio Cargo Control to get cargo, which was got some sweet deals. Essentially, 135 metric tons of cargo contracts for nearly half a megacredit in hauling fees to Greenpernt, because that's where you guys thought you were staying. Doyle stayed aboard because he wasn't able to join us. He kept an eye on the Gin and Tonic and on the kidnapper, whose name is Chimera. Chimera is starting to become an issue. She's been under coma-level sedation for over a month. Her as Dr. Wagner would point out, her subcutaneous fat has decreased about 30%. Her limbs have started to contract and move into a fetal position, like that it happens with many people who are in a coma. Minor infections are springing up and are being dealt with either by the auto doctor or a combination of steroids and antibiotics. Her hair is beginning to fall out. Her blood ox is hovering near 62. And the auto doc is recommending intubation and supplemental oxygen if it goes any lower. Essentially, she is not responding well to continued sedation. Captain Black attended the meeting with Elrin Spofulam. He gave you guys a reward of 2 mega credits for the return of Dr. Robertson. He basically had a long conversation with Captain Black about him and the crew of the Gin and Tonic. And how the Ursay are stealing Spofulam scientists for some sort of project that they've got going on. He asked Captain Black if he would be willing, and the crew would be willing, to sort of help the Spofulam Corporation put a stop to these things. And Captain Black agreed that would be something they would do. In return, Elrin Spofulam said he would smooth out the Gin and Tonic's commercial issues at Greenpernt so they could go back there. And he was going to send a Spofulam representative with more details to Greenpernt to meet up with you guys at Greenpernt sometime later in the month. It will take a couple of days for the cargo to be transported and loaded across the Gin and Tonic. You have to use your cargo pods, so those have to be brought in. Palmer says he can get you ship-based weapons, hardware, and installation, but he wants to know if you want anything from a personal weapon standpoint. You guys put that off until you talked with Doyle. since he's ship security and he knows about weapons. Although Captain Black has military experience, but he wasn't like a space marine or anything. So you guys were going to wait and talk to Coffin Doyle about personal weapons.
Is Doyle going to join us?
He is, yeah. Eric sent me a text earlier and said he was going to join us when he could. So I think you guys got a couple of things that you guys are sort of need to figure out. You've got a couple of, so on one hand, you've got the Spofulum Corporation who says, look, the Ursay have been kidnapping our scientists, more than one, and we want you guys to help us put a stop to it. We're going to, let you do that. We've got a person, maybe with more details, who's going to meet you at Greenpernt, and she'll be your contact. I can't be your contact. You can't be running back to Mirabolis every 2 seconds.
Right.
So she's going to do that. Then you got, so that's one. Then you got Palmer, who says, I will get you weapons, shipboard and personal, but in return, I want you to help me get revenge for the destruction of my ship, the killing of my guys, and the execution of my AI. He told Weber that he had that AI for, over 20 years. And, the fact that it was just cavalierly executed really makes him angry. He wants you guys to help him get revenge on whoever did that, but he doesn't right now know anything about it. And the only clue that he has is what they stole, which was this Steiner library thing. So you guys have some decisions to make. You've got the cargo. You've got some other things. I'll be right back. I gotta run just for a second. I'll be right back.
Let's just run away.
Yes, he did.
Okay, well,
Run away.
about our kidnapper that we have under lock and key. I thought maybe we could talk to the representative from Chuck. I'm sorry, I forget the guy's name, but
Spofulum.
From the Spofulum Corporation, because that could be a starting point for our investigations. Maybe just turn her over to them, and then we don't need to worry about it.
Sounds good.
Well, that's possible, but at this point, you have a decision to make while you're out in space, because if you delay and keep her in this coma any longer or much longer, you'll be delivering a corpse.
Yes, so we can wake her up with the intent of just keeping her under lock and key until we can get her back.
Yeah, I think we agreed we aren't looking to be bad guys. So if we can not get her accidentally killed through our
When did we agree to that?
I'll say, I don't think Don has ever agreed to not be a bad guy.
When we agreed to transport
in his life,
but not necessarily eject our cryo container into space.
So with the kidnappers and scientists and everything, is that the only thing we're going to do is just hand her over? Or do we also want to pursue that line?
Well,
put an end to the kidnapping.
She would be the right person to talk to, but I can't imagine what we could do for her since we jacked her up pretty bad. But yeah, we could make it up to her and remesh her or whatever and bring her back online and in exchange for her freedom,
well, we could also just try to get a hold of any communications about the next possible kidnapping. Follow it.
I don't know.
Or trace it after it happens.
And according to the agreement that Captain Black made with Spofulum, you guys are supposed to be going and finding out, sort of solving the problem or solving the issue of who's stealing Spofulum Corporation scientists.
Right.
So I don't know that just giving up this kidnapper that you found would, the corporation's probably not going to take acceptance of this kidnapper and go, okay, your job's done. No, your job is to figure it all out, basically.
Right.
No, I'm just saying she can give us a clue if we bring her back online. Right now she's worth nothing to us. But it doesn't cost us a lot, especially given our current resource levels, to bring her back into decent condition and then release her somewhere
Yeah.
out in the world, either as a mule for us or a spy for us, or as we've drained her of the intel she has, so we can move on. By the way, doesn't Spoffy Corporation sound like a rival of Cosgrove, Cogs.
Cogsworth Cogs.
Industries?
Nice.
Spacely Sprockets.
Yeah, Spacey Sprockets. That's what I couldn't think of. Yes. Old Spoffulum.
Actually, the first time I heard Spoffulum, it sounded like something you coughed up when you were having a bad cold. Or something.
Yeah.
I was like, if I were that rich, I might have to change my damn name.
One too many clove cigarettes or whatever.
Exactly.
Heck,
Sort
it's
of-
a Spoffulum.
Go, Spoffulum.
Huh.
Green.
I wonder. So if Les doesn't come back, are we just going to elect a new GM and just keep going?
No,
Wait,
Les.
Damn it.
think about it.
Yeah, hang on. Yeah, if Les doesn't come back, I'll just run the game. You're all going to die,
there we
but
go.
I'll run the game.
All right.
I'm back.
So we're not all gonna die?
Damn it! I
Oh no,
get to
that's still on paper. So
Oh, okay.
So I don't get to TPK him though.
well, I mean, you could help.
All right. So
There's
we're
plenty of
gonna-
TPK coming for everybody.
Yeah, there's plenty of death for everybody. So, I mean, you've got this cargo. It's going to take you a couple of days. You're still stuck at Mirabilis. Weber basically tells you, not Weber, Palmer basically tells you that he's going to stay at Ascensio for right now. He's not going to go with you to Greenpernt because he's got resources here. It's a safe place. He's worried that if it gets out that he escaped, that whoever destroyed his ship might want to come and finish the job. And he knows that Ascensio is in Mirabilis system is a safe place. So it's going to be very difficult for somebody to get in there. So he's going to stay there for a while. But he's also going to, you guys have already said that, you will help him get his revenge. So he's gonna try and start making the arrangements for the guns and stuff. You just have to let him know what's going on.
Right.
Sure.
Well, Dan,
So-
you're the captain. You want to tell them what our plan is then?
And I just want to double check before Dan speaks. I'm back online, right? I know I was down for 3 weeks of healing, but I think.
Yeah, you're better.
3 weeks
You're up.
after.
Yeah, it was you and Dr.
You survived your last roll.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we thought we'd go, Les, is we're going to wake up the prisoner, the kidnapper.
Okay. Before or after you leave Mirabilis system? Like, are you going to wake her up and jump?
Before she dies.
Before she dies. Well, what do you guys think? If we do it before we leave Mirabilis, maybe we can question her quickly and then turn her over to Spoffulum Corporation?
I'm good with that. Before.
Does that timing work out, Les? Can we pull that off before?
Yeah, you've got a couple of days. Now, you don't know, I mean, so Wagner's kept her under sedation for over a month. And he removed her neural lace, among other things. So
I don't remember doing that.
sure did.
I remember you doing it.
Everyone remembers you doing that. So
Can he put it back?
Yeah, it's pretty,
No,
it's a pretty dark moment there.
I mean, it's a
No.
really. I mean, you're talking about. You guys hear me?
Yeah.
You're talking about a surgery that essentially, is in depth, brain surgery, customized brain surgery, and that connects, the thinking parts of your brain, your neocortex and cortex, with essentially a networking device, and makes it so that you can do things by, that you can engage with communication technology simply by thinking about it, and receive information and things like that. It's a very invasive, very customized kind of surgery, and that's why it's so expensive.
And he didn't say he was very delicate when he removed it.
Well, so don't get me wrong. Dr. Wagner is a absolutely 100% superior surgeon.
Right. But he wasn't worried about finesse when he took it out. He never said that.
No, I mean, he didn't kill her.
No.
If you were just carving somebody's lace out of their head, it would almost certainly kill them. So it's a testament to his skill that he managed to remove the lace without killing her. Whether or not I mean, what you guys haven't done is, since that surgery, have you brought her out of unconsciousness to see if there was any damage, like lingering damage? She's not dead,
Not that I know of.
right? But you haven't. There might be, various kinds of brain damage or
No,
That's
I've
a
been
dangerous
rousing
melody
her at least once a week to play Risk or Monopoly. She's
So there
all
is
right.
there probably is brain damage then.
Well,
significant.
sometimes it's sorry.
Is this
Let's
your
wake
way of
her up and find out if there's
is this,
damage. Right?
is this your way of apologizing to her?
He plays tic-tac-toe with her and she loses. That's how much brain damage there is.
So it'll probably give me. You know what, Wagner, give me a medical roll real quick.
Give me an M. Okay, so that's
2d6 plus whatever your bonus is. Hey,
Yeah.
there's Eric.
Hello,
Welcome, Mr. Doyle.
Can you hear me?
Can do.
Yes, sir.
Glad to see you all.
All we see is the top of your head, though.
14.
All right, so Dr. Wagner, we just gotten started, Eric. So
Gotcha.
no worries, you didn't miss much. So Dr. Wagner, in your medical opinion, it probably, if you're worried about damage, easing her into consciousness and out of the chemically induced coma slowly would probably be the best process. By making sure that she doesn't have any incidents. If you just adrenaline pop her and bring her from deep coma to consciousness inside of a minute, there could be some significant medical repercussions. Whereas if you take a day or even longer to sort of ease her back towards off of the drugs and back into consciousness, the likelihood of some sort of, like, her having a coronary or an aortic embolism or something like that would be reduced. If you don't care whether she lives or dies, he can inject straight up synthetic adrenaline right into her heart, and she'll be awake in about 30 seconds.
I
But
would
it
like
could
to see
kill
one of
her.
those.
Let's let her thaw slowly.
I'd rather take the gentle slope to total evil than the fast elevator express.
All right,
So
then we don't stay in
Start
Mirabolus. We've got to wake her up while we're traveling. We can just do it that way.
Okay. Now, remember, you picked her up in Greenpernt, and you're heading back to Greenpernt Station. Now, you've got the Spotfield Corporation backing behind you, so you're likely to run into a lot of issues. But that's where she's
Well,
from.
we're keeping her as a prisoner. We're not waking her up and setting her free. We're going to keep her as a prisoner.
Okay.
Well, I mean, what's the upside of having a prisoner on our ship? It's a small
One,
ship.
we've got to question her to, you mean like if they scan us,
the same issue we had last time.
when we tuck off with her, or we can just, use our connections with Spotfield.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, let's get what we can out of her and move her along. But
Right,
if we can get
exactly.
some
Let's
information-
question her.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, within 36, 48 hours, the cargo gets loaded. The cargo pods get attached to your ship. You don't have any other meetings. Palmer essentially arranges to move to a suite at the Asensio Station Holiday Inn Express, where he will stay in residence for the near future. Other than that, you don't have any. Is there anything else that you guys want to do before you leave Asensio Station, Mirabolus system?
So twice, I mean, what is our handgun situation here? Because twice my tiny body pistol has become the major firepower on our head. I'm thinking, what else do we have, or what else can we tuck in?
Well,
here
we
that-
have an offer to get whatever we want. So if we want more weapons,
Right. Now that I'm back, and I'm sorry that I missed last week, I have my carbine, Betsy.
Right.
what weapons do you think we need to pick up for our head of security?
A couple of nukes. I don't know.
A couple of nukes? No, hand weapons.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, flamethrowers for sure. We need flamers.
A flamethrower and a couple of grenade launchers might not go amiss. We could probably use a couple of each. I vote one good rocket launcher, a couple of grenade launchers, flamethrower, and maybe some
I'm writing all this down.
Thank you.
Make sure we get some AI bombs too, like Dark Star. You know, you could turn on you at any moment.
Smart weapons.
Smart weapon, yeah.
And I would love to have a good flak cannon, but
Isn't that more attached to the ship?
Depends. I've seen some effective portable flak cannons for personnel management.
Electrified charger.
Personnel management.
But also, I would love to have a crossbow, just a good old fashioned manual loaded by hand crossbow. And
those are legal in a sense. I mean, you can't just like wander around, but a lot of people do go on. For among hunters and outdoorsmen, you could buy a hand crossbow in Mirapolis. The other stuff.
It seems to me I went on a riff on crossbows last week. Daryl only having 2 bolts ever that he stabbed zombies and squirrels with.
Well,
it sounds familiar. Yeah.
I mean, that's my wish list. I know that I do not every time get what I want, but if I had a choice, I would get those items plus a great amount of ammo.
So is a carbine a good hand weapon? Because I think you're the only one really with a decent shooting weapon besides Matt's little handgun. Should we a couple of carbines for the party or carbine?
Maybe so.
I've been Doc Holliday with that thing so far.
Well, you know what? I have not. I had some bad rolls. But,
just a real question though, or a quick question. The thing that hit me, was there any sort of armor we could have been wearing that would have stopped something like that happening? Because that was, more than weaponry.
Well, it's a matter of money. There's armor that's basically like, what's her face from Alien would wear. It's fully mechanized, basically walking around in a tank, but it costs about as much as the ship does. So I don't think we're going. And you need to have the armor skill, the backsuit skill, wear some of that fancy stuff.
Right. To answer the question, a carbine, it's not a long gun, so it's not good to be. It's not a good sniper gun, and it's not a short gun. It's not especially fast. It's neither. So it doesn't have either advantage of the long gun or the short gun. That said, once you pull it out and start aiming it at stuff, it gets the job done, as long as you have some space to move around. Carbine, sure. Maybe we should each also have just a handgun, just a or 2.
A body pistol or an automatic pistol?
So body pistols, the difference between an auto pistol and a body pistol is essentially comes down to the type of materials used in manufacture. A body pistol is designed to be concealable, not only on one's person, but also from detecting technologies that focus on, finding big blobs of metal on people's persons. Right, so a body pistol is made out of so Tam just got a body pistol from Palmer, and it was essentially made out of the pistol itself is made out of high tensile strength plastics, and the ammunition is made out of ceramic. None of which essentially none of any of the materials that make up that pistol are going to be detectable via a standard metal detector. So it's concealable not only on from a standpoint of it's small, but it's also concealable from detection technologies. So I did a new share, and you can see This is from the book, and you can see essentially the types of weapons. Now, these are obviously big categories, but these are essentially, and there's a lot of room for creativity within here, but these are essentially the primary weapons available. You have body pistols, automatic pistols, which are essentially the same thing as what you would, like an automatic pistol, like a Glock, revolvers, carbines, which are small repeating rifles, which are more like single shot.
Rifle.
Yeah, like sort of a bolt action or what have you. Automatic rifle, which is what we would normally call like a machine gun. A shotgun and a submachine gun, which are, submachine guns are obviously smaller than regular machines. You also have 2 laser guns, laser carbine and a laser rifle. Laser rifles are typically military weapons. They come with a sort of backpack mounted power system. That's the difference. In many cases, the jump from projectile thrower to laser means accommodating yourself to dealing with the power structures associated with it. So you can have either a large power pack for a laser rifle that'll allow you many shots, but you have to lug it around with you, or you can have small power discs or batteries to carry the charge, but it's going to limit your ability to fire multiple times.
Don, you want that halberd. You want to trip people, don't you?
Halberd.
I am very good.
I love the fact that Halberd in a space game, Halberd is on there. Sort of, it fries me.
I'm very good with a cudgel, but I'd like to find a little something with a finesse, like a collapsible baton,
like
with
a
weight
foil.
end.
Maybe a foil is what you need.
Is that like a fencing foil? Yeah.
Foil is like a fencing sword. That's not what I'm looking for.
Can I get
This is a
claws?
big back. You
I
get
want
what?
claws. They have claws up here.
Well, those are more for animals.
I want Wolverine claws. I can't get adamantine claws. Come on.
Okay. No.
You probably could. I mean, if that's something you wanted, you'd probably get them. But it would
Build a
require.
galactic hero can have tusks. I want claws.
You could probably get
Scroll
them.
up real quick. Let me see the categories there. What are the columns?
Sorry. That's the range and
okay, all the different ranges. Okay.
range modifiers, and then the big one is over there is the wound inflicted. So you can see like an automatic pistol will do 3d6 worth of wounds,
Right.
but a shotgun will do 4 dice.
I wonder what it would cost me to get like a stinger put in so I can sting things, in the submission.
So when
Like
you
a scorpion.
get to automatic rifles and submachine guns, these are guns that fire multiple rounds, multiple bullets per round. So when you talk about an automatic rifle with 3 dice 6, that's per bullet that hits.
I see.
Do they have any stunning weapons here? Like, I'd love to have a stunning weapon more than a. I don't see anything.
Absolutely available. I think Tam, do you have one? Somebody said a little while ago they have a stun stick.
I have a stun stick.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe we don't need another one then.
May I ask a question about the Gin and Tonic? Is there a little room that might serve as an armory, and could that room be locked and unlocked maybe by a key code?
Let's have a look, shall we?
Yeah.
All right, let me reshare here. And I will send out. There are several books of weapons and armor that are available for Traveler.
Nothing's blowing my skirt up on this list. I want something exotic.
My two cents. If we can, let's set aside a little room for an armory. Lock it with a key code door, a stout door, and let's stock up that armory with all kinds of stuff and lots of ammo.
So you have a room here, which is sort of an interstitial area near. So this is Med Lab over here, so this area here is sort of where the air raft is. One of the down tubes for that connect the cargo hold and stuff like that. There's other things.
Why don't we put her in one of the living
possible.
quarters because we aren't using all of them? We could just lock the door.
Yeah, there's an extra living quarter. At least 2.
I don't want her cell, quote unquote, to be something we have to pass through to get to med bay.
Yeah.
There's also you have a storage
areas in the hold. Yeah.
You have secure storage here. That's definitely secure storage. This is secure storage as well. Either one of those could be repurposed into an armory.
I mean, it, the, depending on how much stuff we want to get, I mean, I think it would be great to have a few crates of ammo, a couple shotguns, a couple rifles, a selection of handguns, so on and so on. I've not that we should always each carry this stuff, but it would be good to have it if we need it.
Yeah.
Could we put a false wall either here?
Yeah, I was just having the same thought. I mean,
Or
if we
here.
get boarded again, we're going to look like pirates if we have too many weapons on them.
Yeah.
So,
I just imagining somebody coming to the ship. They just got to take a quick look around the ship and then open it up.
We've got an armory.
But if we
And it's
build,
like, dude, it's just like those gun things, like a Batman, right? They have everything mounted on the wall.
Or John Wick.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
if we built a false wall in one of those two locations.
We're stocking up like Neo on his way to rescue Morpheus.
Yeah, exactly.
80 guns in every pocket.
So for now, what's like we could each get a weapon. What would we get? I think
Well,
Eric's fine with his carbine.
love my carbine.
Here in Ascensio, essentially in Mirabilis system, essentially, weapons, typically guns and things like that, are prohibited. So that's why you haven't been able to buy weapons here, and that's why you were going through Palmer. Palmer is going to set you up. He's like, look, I can get you pretty much anything you want, military, whatever, but you're going to have to go to my guys. And he has sort of hinted at the possibility that his guys, when it comes to smuggled weapons, are affronters, essentially. So you know that Palmer does a fair amount of business. Weapons is his business, his primary business. But he's sort of hinted at the idea that you guys would have to go to affronter space to do the pickup. He can set it up,
Right.
but you're going to have to deal with the affronters on pickup.
What does the stun stick do that you have?
I was just trying to look it up. It has a high chance of stunning and does damage.
Is it a
I have
night
written it
stick?
up somewhere. I'll have to search. Hold on real quick.
But it's like a club, though, right?
Yes.
Stun
Well, it's like an
sticks,
extendable stick.
yeah, stun sticks typically do 1d6 of like actual damage, and then the person who's hit has to make an endurance roll to avoid being stunned for d4 rounds.
There you go.
So
Thank you.
something like in Demolition Man.
Yeah, kind of.
I'd like to get one of those.
Okay, those are available.
Demolition Man. I love that movie. We all need 3 seashells
and
about
not-
week 2 of the quarantine.
And I'm
Stun-
sorry, I didn't want to interrupt the game, but did you say the automatic pistol was like a Glock?
Yes. Is that wrong?
My heart bleeds.
Why? No good?
A Glock is a semi-automatic pistol. An automatic pistol would be an Uzi or a MAC-10.
Oh, I don't know that it was used in that context here. I think it was automatic from the point of view is that you didn't have to re-pull back the trigger like you do on a revolver. It was a single action rather than double.
Once
It's pretty
again,
impressive when they wrote these rules in 1985.
once again, my heart cries.
Okay.
Because never mind. Go ahead. My bad.
No. Let it out.
A
It's good.
semi-automatic pistol, you have to keep pulling the trigger.
Okay.
Every time you pull the trigger, 1 round is discharged. An automatic pistol, you pull the trigger once, and it will continue to discharge until you let go of the trigger,
Until all the bullets
You
are
can do burst
or
rounds, though, right?
all of the rounds are expelled.
So do we need to so when you're talking about like in your parlance an automatic pistol like a MAC-10 or a small
Or
Uzi,
an Uzi, yeah.
that would fit under like the submachine gun heading. Is that wrong?
Well, they're not submachine guns; they're machine pistols. Effectively, they're fully automatic pistols. So I guess I'm giving you a hard time, first of all, but mostly for the game. If you are going to decide that that's a semi-automatic pistol, which would be any of the magazine-loaded, pull the trigger, bullet goes, round goes off,
Mm-hmm.
keep pulling the trigger, rounds keep going off, then that's a semi-automatic, and it would
Okay.
be adjusted there.
Okay.
At that point, though, I guess the thing is you get one shot per combat action.
Right. Versus
You pull the
multiple
trigger,
shots.
the round goes off one shot. If it's an actual automatic pistol, then you would get at probably 3-round burst, the same thing they do for automatic rifles or submachine guns.
Right. Okay. I think this is. I mean, are you guys comfortable with us adding semi-automatic pistol in there as a single shot Glock-like
Sure.
weapon? As
I'm
opposed
okay with
to
you adding it. I'm not using it.
Okay. All right. Tell
Isn't
you
that
what.
what they call an auto pistol?
Yeah, but what I mean, so what Chuck's saying is that the terminology that we're using is wrong. An automatic pistol shoots multiple rounds, just like an automatic rifle. And he's right. What I had interpreted their term automatic pistol as is in reality a semi-automatic,
Right.
which does not fire multiple bullets per trigger pull. Right? I got that right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
that's the differentiation. Whether one action gives you 1 round fired, or whether one action gives you 3 rounds fired. 'Cause I'm guessing, just like you said, for if you put that thing back up, that list on the automatic rifle.
Oh yeah, hold on.
Right, it does 3d6.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Yes, automatic rifle does 3 dice, right? But that's per bullet.
Right, so that's a 3-round burst, a d6 per. Right.
No, that's a 3d6 per bullet. So a body pistol, which fires a single bullet, does 3d6. So for an automatic rifle, the 3d6 is per bullet that hits. In the case, so say you had an automatic rifle in this game, and you were saying I fire and it shoots, say 3 rounds. It shoots 3 bullets per combat round. What you would do from a mechanic standpoint is you would roll to hit for each of those bullets.
Okay.
And you might, I mean, depending on if you had sighting augmentation or something like that, you might have bonuses or negatives for additional rounds, but or additional
just
shots.
happen to have a bionic eyeball for sale.
He does. But you know, so you would roll 3 times. To see if you get 8 pluses based on your ability with those things and that kind of stuff, but you would roll to hit for each bullet, and depending on how many bullets hit, that's how many. So if you got all 3 of those hits, you would roll 9d6 damage.
Can you scroll to the top for me just real quick?
Sure. Like that?
Short, medium, long, very long. Okay, never mind.
Is that still readable? I've made
Yeah.
it smaller.
I can still. No, that's fine. I was just trying to figure out.
Those are range modifiers in the middle.
So the body pistol does 3d6.
Yes.
The automatic pistol also shows that it does 3d6.
Yes.
Correct.
And so it shows modifiers at range, but it doesn't show. So I guess it would be +1 for each one of the rounds.
Yeah. So the first one isn't. You don't want to be shooting real close because you're only +1. You want short range with an automatic pistol to give you +2. It looks like 3d6 for each action.
That's the way I've always interpreted it is per bullet that hits, per shot that hits.
Yeah, so at that point it's up to you whether you want to have automatic pistols mean an actual automatic pistol or a semi-automatic.
I think
Are we making canon here?
I think we're making canon here. So yeah, no, I will
or add the other one in. And
yeah,
so
that's what I'm thinking. We add the other one in. We keep this
for a semi. It's the same exact stats as the automatic, except you only get 1 round.
Honestly, I don't want to carry a weapon. I want drones to surround me that do all my fighting for me.
Well, it's probably possible to acquire some sort of drone shield where you have nanites that are little explosive nanites that shoot out at in response to your commands from your lace. But it's probably expensive.
I'm not sure I want those. I'd much rather have a droid sidekick or something that can at least be my straight man when I'm talking comedy here. Shooting the lubes on the starboard.
Yeah, anyway, I've taken up enough time. Guns are just my thing, so.
Okay. No, this is good. This is good stuff. All right. So apparently you guys got a pretty significant laundry list. What I'll do is I'll send out, I know I have somewhere essentially a catalog used for Traveler of various kinds of weapons. Make a list and give it to Weber, and we'll talk about what's available from him and what's not. Palmer specializes in military hardware, both ship-based and sort of like guns. So he probably can acquire it, but a lot of things like semi-automatic pistols, you're probably just, rather than go through him, you're probably just easier to go through any local connection or something like that, which he can put you in touch with. But he usually deals with what would be more or less considered military hardware. Okay?
Yeah.
All right.
May I post a brief Coffin Doyle weapon wish list? May I paste that here? Just it's just what Coffin would love to have.
Okay. Yeah. So, grenade. Oh, wow. There's a couple here. Crossbow. All right. So you can get a crossbow at Ascensio. It's a sportsman's crossbow. A knife as well. You can get both of those at locally, from a sportsman's shop or anything like that. A grenade launcher attachment for a military style carbine. That's a Palmer. Yeah, that's a Palmer thing, like an under the barrel thing, like on Aliens.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's a Palmer thing. But yeah, definitely put it on the list.
Thank you.
I want. I tell him I want the personal valet drone that / bodyguard.
Those exist, man. You could get them. They're expensive though. I don't know that Palmer's going to be in a position to get you one. And you haven't actually done any.
Nobody wants the phase plasma rifle, 40-watt range.
Only what you see on the shelf, buddy.
Yeah. I love that. Fuck you, asshole.
I can't believe I got that reference like as quick as I did. I was kind of proud of myself for that one. All right, so but yeah, you could a crossbow and bolts and stuff like that. You can acquire here. Same with stun sticks. Stun sticks are available in Ascensio as well.
Will there be time to do a little shopping? And don't we need to resupply the ship too?
I've already taken care of that from the point of view of I believe I sent out the ship's ledger.
Right, you did.
I don't. So one of the things about the ship's ledger is how much of the profits you guys are taking as personal wealth. I'm not sure how you do it. I've made some very sort of back of the napkin kind of stuff here. I'll pop it up here real quick, so that you guys can see it. So it's drawing on the thing here. Hold on. Do you guys see the ledger?
Nope.
Yep.
You do? All right. So this ledger's been updated.
I was promised charts. Policy graphs and charts.
Ooh,
so you guys are
formulas.
Yeah, there's formulas.
Yeah.
So basically this is your book, your business book, but I've also got bank tab, and what this does is it pulls from cash on hand and sort of splits it up. So in this case, these are all in K credits. So right now, according to this, and the way that you guys originally determined how shares were going to be split up, each of you should have access to just under 350 kilocredits a piece as part of your shares from being on the ship, and then Gin for repairs and stuff like that as just under 700.
Cool. Wow. Nice. Real nice.
Does that include the large payment that only Captain Black knows about?
It does, I believe. Hold on, let me see.
Because I'm not sure he would have thrown that into general yet.
Yes, it does include that. Do you want to take that out?
Wow, look at Dan channeling Don.
No, his intentions are solid enough. He wants to have liquid money for the ship.
Okay.
So that we have a backup.
That's my intention too.
So that was
when I do it.
essentially a cash payment. So
Just a reserve in case we don't have a profitable venture. We're not instantly bankrupt and shut down.
So take that one out.
Take it out.
Yeah, take that out, but it's being stored in savings.
It's a note somewhere else. Put it as a note somewhere else because we have it, but it's not on this normal ledger.
What's on the cookbooks?
Yeah, there's some. I don't know about you guys,
2
but there's
mega credits.
But Black and Tam are cooking the books.
Tam doesn't know about this.
That I was the only one who knew about it. So
Tam doesn't know about this. Tam is not cooking the books.
No one knows about it but Captain Black. And
the captain's going full on Enron here.
I'm
That's
sorry.
not good.
We work for an AI, a super intelligent AI. I'm not gonna hide any money from said super intelligent AI unless I have a really good reason.
I wasn't even on the ship when this happened.
I would never try to hide anything either in any of my campaigns.
Speaking of which, if you like a super sneaky AIs, I highly recommend the new Murderbot book. They have a full length Murderbot book out after the four stories. Yeah, it's pretty entertaining.
So
easy to put upon.
that takes your cash on hand down quite a bit. So if we go over to the bank tab now, rather than 350, you guys now have just over 70 kilocredits.
What happened to my IRS refund?
Got put somewhere else.
Your
The hell's
stimulus was
FICA?
captured.
Why do they have all my money?
Your stimulus was captured for child support. Sorry.
Captain Black just set himself up for a nasty reveal later on. We run an NPC who was hey, by the way,
By the way, I have 2 mega credits I didn't tell you guys about. So Captain, I'm very curious. Do you tell the crew that you got 2 mega credits, or do they just tell them, yeah, this guy Elrin Spofulam, he was really happy with us, and so we all got free passes to the $7,000, Scotch tasting later on this month. So we got to come back for that.
No, I would let him know that I wouldn't necessarily tell him the amount, but I'd let him know sum of money offered that we have to earn it. I don't want to spend that money if we can't back it up anyway. It's like we did get paid in advance, but you don't spend money you got paid in advance and you haven't done the work for.
Well, he transferred that over to you. You have that money. This was essentially a reward for returning.
Yes, but we haven't done the work yet.
Exactly, but we're under contract with them now, so let's wait and see how this contract goes before.
No. Wait a second. Now, the $2 million isn't for the contract. I mean, there's a promise of more in there for you if you help them with this thing, but the $2 million was strictly a reward for bringing back Dr. Robertson. That's yours to keep.
Yeah. You know what you sound like right now. It's yours. You can keep it.
Like I'm selling you timeshares?
Exactly. Which very well may be the situation we found ourselves in. So, no, I'm not spending that money yet.
All right.
In case we need to get a refund and get ourselves out of this contract, I'd be able to give him back his money.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So you guys are thinking about backing out of your contract with one of the most powerful mega corporations.
It's not you guys. It's just Captain Black, and yeah, he's okay with this.
Okay.
Nobody else needs to know nothing.
I think it's cute. He thinks he can back out of his contract.
Well, yeah, exactly. But this is why it's only Captain Black. You can come after me. No one else will even know who you are, so they can't.
Well, I would say, and Chuck, correct me if I'm wrong, I would say that Mr. Spofulam would be under the assumption that he has engaged the entire crew and ship of the Gin and Tonic, not just Jet Black.
He has absolutely engaged us, yes.
Yes, that is his understanding.
But who he owns is Captain Black right now.
No.
Yep. This will not blow up in your face in any way whatsoever later at all.
Yes, exactly.
I'm already thinking about how I can make this bad for you.
Who he owns
all
is
the
you
angles
and
ahead
your
of
ship and everyone on it.
Yeah. Like, well, so why are
That's
we
his
working with this guy again?
All right, so I will send out shopping stuff. Remember, and alongside, so I will send out a couple of things. One, if you guys want to do a little shopping while you're at Ascensio, you can absolutely do that. I will send out catalogs and costs after the game tonight. and you can take care of whatever shopping you do. I'll also make sure to send out what you guys have from a cash point of view, from your shares in the ongoing things, especially not the money that Captain Black is holding under his bed or something. So he's got it on an easily removable and losable cash stick or some sort.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump drive.
Yeah, it's on a jump drive, like somebody like Bitcoin. All right, so you do that, and I'll send out all that to you guys later. In the meantime, I've already gassed you up. You've already got all of your UMB, so you guys are ready to rock. Now, just to make sure, I want to make sure that we're on that. So if you look at the drive, you guys are talking about going back to Greenpernt, and Greenpernt is here, and it is a 2-jump voyage. Now you can go to various places on the way. There's a lot of places that you can get. Well, not a lot, but I mean, Sarpedon and Remulac are both interstitial areas. I don't know that you could go to Sarpedon and then make the jump to Greenpernt. It's too far. Or you could just fall out of jump space into interstellar space, reconfigure the jump drives, takes a couple hours, and then make the jump from there to Greenpernt. You've got plenty of fuel. It's just a matter of picking the road. I don't know. So
why don't we just take the same route we took last time, right?
The blue route?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can do.
All
right.
I'm going to let our boys know in Greenpernt know we're coming. Just let them know that, let's see, how do we want to do this? What did we agree to last time? Yeah, I'm trying to remember what we agreed to last time, that we could have a mutually beneficial conversation. I guess we'll let them know that we can pick up anything extra they need us to. Actually, you know what? I'm going to drop our stuff off because I don't need another shakedown before we get to the city. You've got
135 metric tons of cargo already loaded.
And it's all legit cargo, right?
It's all legit cargo. Yeah, it's half a mega credit worth of haulage fees that you guys all for Greenpernt. Remember when you guys did this last time? The ability to strike deals with these guys went extraordinarily smoothly, more smoothly than it had gone before. And you suspect that the Spofulum Corporation put you on some sort of green list that says, "Hey, we like these guys, so treat them well when it comes to haulage." Make sense?
Right.
All right. Cool.
So I am going to alert our boys, Bill Scaramouche and his bro, that we're coming. If there's anything extra you need us to pick up on the way or anything, just let us know. We'll be in town to
you mean like
say hi to old friends.
Like a case of Faygo or something?
Yeah, I'm also getting the best scotch they have here at.
Well, they certainly liked the scotch you gave them last time, and they also picked up all of your cash. So, there's that. But yeah, he definitely got the thing when he was drinking that Queetsing's scotch that he brought aboard. That Bill definitely gave you the impression that he was an aficionado. So if you want to,
I'm also thinking
to pick him up a couple of bottles that you could only get at Essentia, that would be. I'm sure he would feel that was a good thing.
Yeah, so I'm picking a couple bottles, say hi to an old friend, and he knows that we're the kind of people that get jobs done for some of his more select clientele friends.
Gotcha. Okay, sounds good.
You can't be above the books all the time, or above board all the time.
Perfect. Okay, so you guys essentially detach from Asensio. You wave your goodbyes and hike out to jump safe distance and pop the cork and head out into jump space as you are making your way towards Greenpernt. Dr. Wagner, you begin at Captain Black's request to start bringing the prisoner out of her coma. In your opinion, it's going to take a couple of days, but I need you to make 2 medical checks.
2?
2 of them, one after another, one for each day.
Well, you have to pay before service.
This isn't the American healthcare system. This is space health.
Oh.
15, okay, perfect. And then 1 more.
Why am I not seeing the die? Oh, well.
Ooh, 13. Still very good. That +6, man, goes a long way. And as much as you guys are a little weirded out by Dr. Wagner, the fact is no one can argue with his skill as a medical professional. So yeah,
It's his ethics we're worried about.
well, I mean, there's that. It's a question for a different day. But yeah, he begins to bring her out, and a couple of days out, you get you get a call from Gin that says Dr. Wagner has a message for you guys. The prisoner is conscious.
All right.
All right.
Still in med lab. She can't move right now, so there's going to have to be the auto doc has her on a couple of courses of like joint therapy. She's being pumped full of like painkillers and stuff like that. Remember, she's been under for a month. She's got bed sores. She's got she was beginning to move into fetal position. Her joint tissue have begun to seize up. She's lost a lot of weight. She's very weak. She hasn't eaten any solid food. Only nutrient drips and things like that provided to her to the auto doc. So yeah, it's not like she was in cryo where it essentially suspends those processes. She was just under sedation.
Has he given her a lot of hydroxychloroquine so that she doesn't get any viruses or anything like that?
Yeah.
The auto doc has been sort of injecting her with various kinds of antibiotics and steroids to
Cleanser.
yeah.
Ajax.
It's weird is you can still get Comet 500 years from the future. So it's just been putting that together. No, but I mean, it's been over the course of the whole month. I mean, the auto doc has been doing sort of the background processes under Wagner's supervision. And so all these little sort of like infections would pop up, right? And so they would each be individually targeted by the auto doc with injections of steroids and antibiotics, various kinds of things. But it was her decline was becoming more pronounced, and that's why the auto doc warned Wagner. Wagner told you guys.
Yeah. Captain, how you want to play it?
I was planning on having Coffin have a conversation with her when she's strong enough. I think we can just leave her resting. Let's just make sure she's secure.
So how do you? I mean, do you guys just strap her down or handcuffs or?
Just to make sure the room's locked. I don't.
I thought the doc removed all her limbs. No.
Yeah, she's so weak and she's so down. Personally, I'm feeling bad about this. She's obviously had a really rough life. I'm comfortable just being in the room with her. Just lock the door. And
So you can comfort her and stroke her hair.
No, I don't. No. I'm going to be real professional and cool about this. Remind me. What are some things we might want to know from her?
Well, so just to give you background, in case this is because this has been several months that this happened. She was for lack of a better word, the combat specialist amongst the people that you were going to deliver Robertson to in Greenpernt. Remember, you
That's
guys?
right. Yeah.
So she was among there. She was the shotgun wielder, and actually got a couple of shots off at you guys before you knocked her down. I believe it was before Weber Jix shot her in the abdomen with his body pistol.
Yeah.
So she was, for lack of a better term, if you look back at that, you could imagine that this team was comprised of a couple of different people. You had a Ursai in traditional dress who seemed to be in charge of everything. Then you had a couple of techs who were obviously, that their job was to ensure that the scientist was alive, and take over the cryo chamber. Remember, they had a portable power unit that looked very weirdly like a bike, that so that they could take things. And then you had this woman who, unless, for lack of a better term, I mean, she was security. And when things went sideways, and I believe it was Tam yelled out, "Let's get him!" She was the forefront of. I mean, she had that shotgun out very quickly. That's who you guys took with you.
Okay. Does she have anything we want? I mean, or because if she does not have information that
Yeah,
sorry.
no, yeah, we want to know who hired her. We want to know who hired her. We want to know because we are now under contract to go after these kidnappers.
Okay, all right, I see. Okay.
So Eric, if when Coffin goes into med lab to check her out, she's conscious, but you can see that she's only barely conscious.
Right, we got to let her heal.
Yeah,
so.
Dr. Wagner's in there with you, and he's like, you could probably ask her. I mean, she's awake. He's consulting her brainwave patterns and stuff like that on the terminal. Yeah, she's conscious. She can hear you, but whether or not, I don't know that she'll be able to respond in any reasonable way. But I mean, you can certainly ask her questions if you want.
She'll respond.
Okay, all
This.
right, I walk over to her. I stand over her and I say, well, ma'am, from one security professional to another, I think we both know how this works. Now, I could go on about easy way and hard way and so on and so on. I would rather skip all that now. And I know that you are down right now and you probably cannot muster a long reply. Save your breath. But I want you to think about this. We need to know details of your employment. Who are your employers and what were your goals? And why did you kidnap those people? Again, we're both professionals here in much the same line of work, and I hope just between us two, we can skip all the fuss. Now, that said, I will let you rest.
All right, you can see her eyes, which have been gummed closed. You can sort of see her sort of like looking at you. You don't, I mean, you could see she's trying to speak, and but her voice is just toast. And so you could see,
Dr. Weber, when do you think our guest will be able to speak?
Could be a few days because she's been on ventilation at times, so her
okay.
trachea and her throat are going to be a little rough.
All right, all right. I go back to her, ma'am. As soon as Dr. Weber tells me that you are able to respond, I will come back and you and me will have a nice chat. In the meantime, rest up.
she struggles as you're walking away. She's like, my name is Jamira.
Jamira, nice to meet you. My name is Coffin.
You see her like it's the energy that she expended just getting that out. You could see she almost like physically falls back into the bed as she's sort of like tensing. And you could see that it hurt her to do it, but she said her name is Chimera.
Jamira, now, nice to meet you. Now, what I want you to do now is rest up, please. And when you are feeling a bit stronger, you and I are going to have a little chat. Now, just so you know, my personal goal is to get you back home. But before we can do that, I got to know what I got to know. So, and I think we both know what that means. So, in the meantime, I can guarantee your safety here. Now, just rest up and we'll talk later on.
She's still conscious, according to Wagner, but she does not say anything else.
I just go out.
Okay. So do you guys do anything else to her on the first day, or
Let her rest.
Just let her rest. Make sure she's secure.
Okay.
Taser again, bro.
So she, Wagner did not have her strapped down, but when you come back about a day and a half later, when Wagner tells you that her speech is better, she should be able to, she seems okay. Wagner, give me another quick medical check, would you?
You got me out of bed for this?
Wow.
Why is it not rolling?
14. Okay. Dr. Wagner is a little bit. Well, he would express to you privately, to you, Coffin, that he's a little bit worried that the removal of her neural lace may have impacted her cognition somewhat. So what he'll say is he's had a couple of very short conversations with her. I don't know that you'd even call them conversations to sort of assess whether or not she's in condition to speak with you. And in his opinion, now he can't. So he's done a few scans on her, and he can't find any physical damage to her brain. However, he would tell you that her neural lace was installed a while back. He estimates her age at about mid 30s, maybe late 30s, and he estimates that the lace was originally installed based on the amount of cerebral plaque and things like that have grown around it, probably in her very early 20s. So that lace had been installed for well over a decade, closing in on 2 decades. And while there's no physical damage to her brain that he can detect, it's possible that there might be some psychological damage. Of being, essentially, you're talking about a woman who has been connected to networks her entire adult life, maybe longer, suddenly being shorn of those connections. He's like, look, she seems disoriented. She has been asking who we are, where she is. He's like, I don't know what to expect when you start asking her questions.
All right. Well, okay. Dr. Wagner, is she able to speak now?
Yes.
Okay.
I
All right.
think she's trying to you.
Okay. I guess I will go in and I'll go talk to her.
I should warn you, her tests have revealed that she is very averse to poetry.
That's everyone's tests.
Vogon poetry?
Well, she kind of likes Vogon poetry.
Of all the poetries that you've exposed her to, Vogon is the one she seems to respond the most positive, least negatively to.
Great.
All right.
I walk in there and I sit down. I move.
Now at this point she is strapped in with those standard sort of big fiber straps.
Yeah.
And Wagner will tell you, like, when the autodoc is not doing like her physical therapies, he keeps her strapped down.
Okay. Dr. Wagner, before I do this brief initial interview with our guest, are the straps needed? Is she strong? Is she a threat?
No, her muscles have deteriorated enough where she just wouldn't be able to exert much strength, and plus her psychological confusion, I don't think she'd be able to string together enough forethought or muster the strength to really be much threat to a strapping fellow like you.
All
That
right.
doesn't mean that she doesn't have reflexes and couldn't surprise you, but I would suspect someone of your profession and experience would be used to dealing with that.
May I ask that Dr. Wagner be present in the room?
Sure.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to view this over the shipboard cameras? I know that Captain Black and Tam are typically on the bridge and are probably there right now. Coffin, you and Wagner will be in med lab.
Honestly, I think she has an affinity for you. It might be better if I weren't there because she sees me as not a nice guy.
All right.
The guy that ripped out her brain.
Got it. Okay. Then I would like this recorded.
Okay. Jin comes over and says, "Yes, I will. I will ensure that we will record from the 2 cameras that are available in MedLab."
Thanks, Jen. Okay. I walk in there and.
Do you want to broadcast live to the rest of to the bridge as well?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah. I just want to keep people apprised. Hello, ma'am. I hate to see you strapped down like that. If I were strapped down, I would feel horrible. So first thing I'm gonna do is remove these straps, and just so we start off on a good just so we have a good start, ma'am. I want to tell you I have no intention of fighting you. I want to be friends. So I remove her straps, and I say, ma'am, do you want to sit up or rest or lie back? Or also, I brought you some hot tea.
Oh, nice. So she does begin to set up, and she says, her voice is still pretty raspy, but she takes the tea, and she says to you, my name is Chimera. Where am I? Who are you good people? Why am I here? And why am I so? She looks down at her body. She's like, have I been sick?
Well, ma'am, you have been ill. Our doctor has been helping you, and our goal is to get you home. Now, I'm a friend. My name is Coffin, and you are aboard the starship Gin and Tonic, and we are currently traveling toward Greenpernt. Now, it's my goal to drop you off there with family or friends so that you are safe. It's my personal goal to see to your health, good health, and safety.
I don't remember getting on this ship. Where were we traveling to? My name is Chimera. It's a pleasure to meet you. And she sort of reaches out a very thin hand to sort of shake your hand.
Shake hands.
And you can see it almost, she sort of rubs her hand afterwards. It's almost as like even a standard handshake may have you may have bruised her a little bit, that kind of thing without meaning to.
I see.
She seems, this handshake is very weak.
I see.
She seems almost, expended by the effort.
Okay.
She goes, I don't remember getting on this ship, and I certainly don't remember getting sick. You'll have to help me fill in some of the dots. I don't remember a lot.
Okay. Well, ma'am.
There's a bullet-shaped virus.
She's got a new scar.
Well, ma'am. We rescued you from a melee, a fight in which you were badly wounded, and unfortunately, many of the people you worked for, they were hurt too. But we rescued you because we saw that you were in pretty bad shape, and we have an expert doctor here who kept you alive. Unfortunately, there were complications, and we had to keep you unconscious for a while, just so that your body could heal. And I'm very sorry about that. But again, it's our goal now to get you home. So, ma'am, I just had a couple of questions. Oh, how's your tea? You know, ma'am, I can add some honey to that so it soothes your throat more. I realize that the ventilator that's real rough on your trachea and your lungs. I'm sorry, you know, I add some honey to her tea and I stir it for her. And are you able to hold your cup, ma'am? All right.
She does, yeah. She's got it in both hands, and she does that girl thing where they hold the cup really close like this when they're cold.
All right, good.
She seems to you pretty disoriented. You know, she seems confused. I mean, all the things that Wagner said to you, you know, seem to be in place. She seems confused. She seems to have no. I mean, she says she has no recollection of getting on. She talks about like she was a passenger almost. Like, I don't remember getting on the ship, you know, that kind of thing. I think you get the impression that she's assuming that whatever happened to her happened on the ship, and you guys were just there in the nick of time to sort of help her. She tells you that her memory is very spotty, and she doesn't remember a lot.
Okay.
So what does her health insurance card say she works for?
She didn't say anything. I mean, honestly, she looked a little confused at you when you said your employers and your friends were, your colleagues were injured. She does come out and say, I don't remember anything happening at work. Where are my colleagues in different places? Are they somewhere nearby?
Sorry, your show.
God damn it.
Ma'am, your previous employers were stationed on Greenpernt, and we're taking you back there now. Les, here's what Coffin is thinking. Coffin feels some guilt because you know, Coffin doesn't like to see women hurt or mistreated. But Coffin also would like to make a perception check. Is she faking it? And what's one? And two, is she about to slug me?
Okay. What is your? She's about to slug me. No, you don't get the impression that she's good. That honestly, you think you're pretty sure that Dr. Wagner's assessment that that she's in no physical condition to give you any problems seems accurate. She seems really sort of. She's lost a lot of weight. She's lost a lot of muscle tone. It's obvious that her I mean, when you saw her, when you guys got into that fight, she was combat ready, muscular, quick shot, ready to, you know, she went from 0 to 100 in like 2 seconds. She was ready to rock. This is a very different woman. But go ahead and do your intelligence check, which is your fourth. Do an intelligence check, which is your fourth number.
All right. My here. Hang on a minute.
I have to look.
Let me find that. Here's me right here. 766A85.
Okay. A represents 10, so you get that's your fourth number. Your intelligence is 10, so you get a +2 for you know, you get a plus for everything above 8. So when you roll, you get a +2 on that check.
So I roll 2d6.
2d6
+2.
+2.
All right, let me get this going. 1, 2. Come here. 1, 2. All right.
8. Man, you're not sure.
All right.
You concede that it's possible, and you can see sort of, and you feel like you see maybe some hints of, previous intelligence. You see her looking sort of sidelong at you a couple of times, almost in a sort of way that she's like assessing you almost.
Sure.
But at the same token, she seems genuinely confused and you know, she seems like she's definitely, like, she's genuinely struggling with her with her memory and stuff like that.
Okay. Okay, got it. All right. I'm gonna.
What does that
wow.
even mean, Don?
I don't do that.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
I think about it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let me resize
You
this
guys,
thing.
so you guys are all watching this as well. So while Coffin's talking to you, all the rest of you give me intelligence checks as well, as you're trying to determine the same thing. Is she faking? It's your fourth number on your universal profile. What is it called? The UPP, Universal Personal Profile, and you get a +1 for every number above 8.
Okay.
And Wagner, you can
D6. Sorry, can you remind me?
Nice. Wagner, you can use your medical roll to see if there's anything there.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
The dice roller has not been my friend tonight.
No. Well, you only rolled one set of dice, right?
I gambled also and lost 2,400 credits.
Should I roll intelligence or medical?
You can use medical or intelligence. Intelligence.
Well, I rolled a 15.
15's pretty good. So I'd probably stick with that. I doubted that you're going to be able to do much better than that.
Okay.
Jet with a 9. Weber, you got 2d6 plus your intelligence bonus for me.
Is Zoom slow tonight?
Not that I'm encountering.
Okay.
Matt, you there, buddy?
You may have walked away.
You can't hear
He's
him.
on mute. He's not on mute.
Hey,
Hello?
there he
Oh,
is.
now
Okay.
you're not on mute. There you go.
Did you roll 2d6 plus your
No,
intelligence
my-
bonus?
Plus my intelligence bonus. Sorry, 1 second.
It's your fourth number on your UPP.
Please hold.
All right. So while he's doing that, Coffin, you're on the fence, but you don't think she's faking. Dr. Wagner, you suspect she is faking, if only because of the sophistication and expertise that you used when you removed her lace. You know that she has no physical damage to her brain.
Yeah.
Oh, you've talked to her, that kind of thing, but you're growing increasingly suspicious. Captain Black, you are you're suspicious as
Les?
well, but you're not sure. Yeah.
My intelligence is 11, so what do I need to do?
So that's +3. So 2d6 + 3.
Done.
Weber, you're just like, she's conning us, man. She knows what she's talking about. This is all BS. You're pretty much of the opinion that she's faking.
I shot her and I'll shoot her again.
Shot her once, I'll shoot her again.
But
Anyway,
they can
sorry.
Come in there.
So Eric, did you have other questions?
Well, this is just ma'am, I just came in here to check on you and to take off your straps because you just looked uncomfortable, and I wanted to bring you a cup of tea. Now, are you hungry?
She's like, yeah, I am hungry, but Dr. Wagner says it's too soon for me to eat. He said that I would have some broth, some soup that would be made. He would make for me later to try and.
Okay,
Out of your own brain.
I'm gonna bring you.
All right.
Jesus.
After I got
Maybe I
suspicious.
just shouldn't leave.
Well, you're not going to tell him that. You're going to.
No.
You're just going to sidle up to her and just be like, "Hey, I got something for you."
Ma'am, ow. Ma'am, let me go see if I can rustle up some broth for you. I do think we should do just as the doctor says. Now, for now, just have some tea, and I'll be back soon. So
Okay.
I leave and I want to confer with my colleagues.
Okay.
So, gentlemen, you all saw that. What do you think so far? Meanwhile, I'm getting her some chicken broth or beef broth. I don't know.
Out of the replicator. So,
Yeah.
She seems fine to me. Very sincere and possibly brain damaged because I rolled a 3.
See? Okay.
I
So
might
Captain
be possibly
Damn, shut
brain
up. You don't know what you're talking about.
Captain, do you leave the bridge?
No, why would I have left the bridge?
I don't know. Just checking. Over the intercom, you hear.
I believe Tam and I are still sitting in the bridge together.
Well, I thought we'd go into the room. I thought he was going to conference with us.
In jump space, Jin's got it from here. You don't have to sit on the bridge. You guys just do it because you're comfortable up there.
It's our.
I'm in the bridge.
It's your sanctuary for the two of you. Well, you guys.
Well, I can tell you from doing my rotations in psych,
Mhm.
she seems a lot more cagey and conniving than I first would have given her credit for. But watching our security officer try to be nice to her, I could see that she was entering into a manipulative mode that is not capable of someone who is severely brain damaged. I think she's trying to get a feel for where she is and what's going on. She's, yes, a little disoriented, but she's cunning.
Okay. All right.
Weber Jix, what do you think?
I think you need somebody who is less earnest and more her people. Why don't I have a crack at her?
Okay, cool. But I wanted to confer, and bring her some food and make her an offer she can't refuse.
All right.
Excuse me, gentlemen. I was. This is Jin coming over over your lace. He says, "Look, I left a pin camera on her while you guys were out of the room, and she just removed an instrument from an instrument tray inside of MedLab. Now, the pin cam is poorly placed, so I wasn't able to determine which kind of instrument it was.
I'm sure
But it's probably a sharp one. Yeah.
Oh no, don't worry. I didn't leave any sharp or dangerous things in there with her.
You didn't
That would
think
be
so,
cool.
but
Okay. All right. I want to get my carbine. No.
Well, so Jin will also say, and she whatever it was that she took off the instrument tray, she just hid it behind the med lab bed, where she's sitting.
All right. I want to bring her a bowl. A good, nice bowl of broth, and plus a long-handled spoon.
Okay. Okay.
don't take any weapons in with you.
Don't kill her with the spoon, because we do need to question her.
I'm bringing a bowl of hot broth and a long-handled spoon. Thus, I am heavily armed.
Okay.
Okay.
A Vesk is never unarmed.
All right, so are you bringing a carbine in there? Oh, you got
I'm
the
not.
spoon. You're gonna hit her with the spoon if you have to. I get it now. All right. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not very bright. All right, cool. Yeah. So she goes in there. She's still sitting there. She's just about finished the tea, and she's like, "Thank you, Mr. Doyle." She didn't say your last name. Thank you, Coffin. That hit the spot. What is that? It smells really good. And you can see her sort of like, kind of looking over.
All right. I reach real fast. I grip her by the hair and I splash the broth right in her face.
Yeah.
Oh, do you really?
Oh yeah.
She screams because it's super hot.
Well,
and
you
she
know what?
veers backward, but she can't break your grip. So there's this hot chicken broth is dribbling down her. She's like trying to wipe it off her face.
I take the long-handled spoon and I strike her several times.
Okay. Are you holding on to her wrist?
Oh, I'm watching this on video.
No. Okay.
You don't hold on to her wrist?
No, I grab her hair. So I've gripped her hair, real tight, and I splashed her
Oh,
with
hair,
the
that's right.
So he's not
Sure.
grabbing her wrists at all yet.
no,
Mhm.
no. I don't need to. I grab her hair and I strike her several times very hard with the long-handled spoon
So like in the face.
in the face.
Okay, so she's blinded by this hot soup
Mhm.
that you've just thrown on her,
Mhm.
What
and
did I
so
miss?
you've got her in the hair, and you just like whack her with this spoon, like wham, wham, wham. She struggles away. She barely gets her hands up, and when you let go of her hair, she falls backwards on the bed, and she's just like, nose is bleeding. Her
Mhm.
eye is kind of like, she's obviously getting a black eye. Were you trying to kill her?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Now I say, ma'am, okay, and I remove the instrument from the bed. What is it?
Turns out it was what Wagner would tell you, it is a detector of some sort. It's essentially a cylinder, probably about 10 inches long, that she sort of tucked in. It's a
It's an
detection.
anal probe.
It's a detector.
It's for later.
Yeah, it's essentially it's a tool. It's not in any way a weapon.
Oh,
I mean, you could hit somebody with it, and it'd probably give you a dent. But
So,
I'd
Dr.
say-
Wagner, reconstructive facial surgery to the OR.
okay. I'm gonna. Is she on the bed, on the ground? Where is she?
she's still on the bed. Now she's starting to like she's kind of like she's really very weak. You cracked her like 4 or 5 times in the face with a big spoon. So she's got her nose is bleeding. One of her teeth is probably loose.
Okay.
She's getting a big
All right.
black eye, but she's not moving.
All right. I lean.
She is breathing.
Good, because I need some answers. I lean over her. I'm still not. I'm not grasping her wrists, but and in fact I don't touch her, and I say, "Ma'am, I know that was rough. That is the best you are going to get from me. Now, I need answers. Who were you working for? And what were your goals? Why did you kidnap those people? Now, either I get answers or we take a walk. You take a slightly longer walk than I do.
You're gonna space
Great.
her?
Yep.
You're gonna
Good
space
job.
her? All right. Well, she's crying. Tears rolling. She's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Why did you hit me? Oh God.
She gets
Like, I
one
don't know what you're
more
talking about. What are you talking about? Kidnappers? I don't know. And you're like, crack her again?
spoon.
Oh man.
Jesus Christ.
So she's like, oh, stop hitting me! Stop hitting me! And she's like, got her hands up like this, and she's like in full ball.
Spoon.
You hit her again?
Yes.
She's got maybe 2 or 3 more spoon hits before you knock her on, before she's going to slip unconscious. But she keeps saying, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. Can I do one more perception?
One more spoon.
check?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Thank you. So
The rest of you are watching this on pin cam, just like, damn, Coffin. First he's all like, I'm sorry for your problems, and handing her honey tea. The next thing you know, he's whacking the shit out of her with a spoon from the kitchen.
Like, I'm the chief of the feminist here. I hate to see a woman being damaged.
You don't know. You're starting to think that maybe she's telling the truth.
Okay. Well, you can't make an omelet.
Well, you scrambled her pretty hard. So she's bleeding from both nostrils, one ear, where you clipped her on the ear. Her eye is now, she's gonna have a big shiner. Beyond that, her face is all swole up now.
All right.
She's hurt.
For the record, I don't like to, I never, Coffin Doyle doesn't like to strike women.
I'm glad you I'm glad you.
Can you imagine what would have happened to her if he liked to strike women?
So,
Yeah. I just hope
but,
Captain Black and Tam are thinking about that money they have buried under their bed. And it's a good time to complain. Coffin Doyle puts the question.
okay. All right. All right.
She's taken a lot of punishment. I mean,
right.
you've given her with that spoon. You've given her a pretty significant beating.
Okay. Ma'am, this is how I spoon.
I get it. That's a joke. I get it.
Now,
First
I
you
need
beat me
you-
and then the dad jokes? Why? When are the point to stop?
now, ma'am, and if I'm gonna step out again and let you think for a while, I'm gonna consult again with my colleagues. If I consult with them, and if I gotta come back in here, and if I don't get answers that I like, we're gonna spoon again. Now, I'll be back soon. In the meantime, have some more tea. And I hand her some more tea and and I add some more honey to it.
She flinches backward from another hot liquid coming her way.
All right. I set the tea on the no, I don't. I take the tea. I
smash it over her head.
No, I don't. You know what? Cancel the tea because I don't want to give her something she can scald me with. So I take the tea and I leave the room, and I wish to consult again with my colleagues. Okay, I say, gentlemen, I've tried this the easy way and I've tried the hard way. Now, she does not seem responsive to my questions. What do you think? Is she genuinely not compost mentis? Is she genuinely not able to remember, or is she thinking it?
It's quite possible she doesn't. She's gone through some serious trauma, and oftentimes when people go through trauma, and especially brain surgeries, their memory of the accident or the trauma is generally erased.
Yeah, all right.
So she could be very sincere. I see that she presents as a manipulative person, which personality doesn't usually change with trauma. Personality is pretty fixed.
All right.
So you can try asking her for memories that are from farther ago, like where does she hide her money, or
All right.
something like that.
Does she have daddy issues?
Yeah.
All right. Maybe for now I should let her rest. Just because
Yeah, 'cause she can't take another spooning.
yeah.
It's quite possible she just didn't like Earl Grey and you could have offered Darjeeling.
All right.
Well, so Gin will tell you guys that she has basically laid down in the bed and sort of curled up, and he says that as far as he can tell, she's crying, laying on the bed. She has not tried to acquire any more instruments.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna go back in there.
Beat her up one more time.
I'm gonna draw the blanket up over her shoulders, and I say, "Ma'am, all right. For now, you just rest. We're going to talk later on." And I make sure that she has water and water. Yeah. And I leave.
Okay. All right.
All right. My vote, gentlemen, is I don't want to just space her. I did make that threat. I did the bad cop thing, but I just can't space her. If we can't get information out of her, I vote we just drop her off somewhere in Greenpernt and pursue our investigation along other avenues.
Right? Can I take a crack at her? Well, when I
Please.
say crack,
she has enough crack.
I want to specify this is not some sort of sick dad joke. All right. I'm going to go over there.
All
Do you
right,
really
gonna
want
go
to talk to her, though?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So she's
I don't
not
know if you
crying anymore,
noticed.
but she's still hugged she's sort of huddled up on the bed. You get a look at her, and man, you're just the first thing you think is, man, Coffin did a number on this woman. Her face is all puffed up and bruised. She's wiped away some of the blood from her nose, and it's combined with tears. She just looks a mess.
Oh, I'll.
Like, who are you? You're not going to kill me, are you?
I'm not here for the spooning. Let's have a quick conversation. I know you're a little confused right now, but you and I have met before. See, I was just doing the job to deliver something, and you discharged a shotgun pretty much point blank in my face. Now,
I don't remember anything like that. I don't know who you guys think I am.
Fortunately for me, you missed, but you were injured enough that we had to save your life. You wouldn't have made it past that firefight. But
what are you
anyway,
talking about?
here.
Firefights? I don't remember any firefight.
Can we have Jen show her security footage of her shooting up?
Well, what do you remember?
Jen wouldn't have any of that security footage from because that was on station. That was in Greenpernt Station.
Like, what do you remember? Let's start with this. You understand my colleague was understandably concerned with your memory of this particular event because it was rather traumatic for us, as it is being traumatic for you right now. So let's talk about what you do remember.
Look, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know that I can't remember ever meeting any of you people.
That's not what I asked you. I'm asking you what you do remember.
I live and work.
Yeah, I've been a parent for a while, so I can break it down.
My name's Chimera. I live and work in Greenpernt. I've lived there. I've lived on Greenpernt Station for the last 12 years. I have a job as I work security for on the docks. Various for the security company. I work for the security company.
What security company?
Bill's Security out of Greenpernt.
Bill's Security. Like
Bill's Dockside Security.
No relation to my Bill. What's name? Bill.
Well, so here's the thing about Greenpernt. Everybody is named either Bill or Stacy. And so if it's Bill's Dockside Security, it's probably some guy named Bill who started a company and
got it.
it.
I just want to make sure it wasn't no relation to my guy.
You don't think so? So Bill Scaramouche, your guy, is Greenpernt System Authority, right? So he's essentially what passes for law enforcement in Greenpernt. The thing about Greenpernt law enforcement is Greenpernt recognizes its very specific role in interstellar commerce. And law enforcement, the thing about Greenpernt is law enforcement isn't too strict.
Yeah, I get it. I'm a commerce guy. I'm all about letting the spice flow.
Yeah. So he's, so you've dealt with, Greenpernt before. It's very much, they've really made a name for themselves in sort of being a transshipment point for not only a lot of legitimate cargo, but also a lot of smuggling too. And it's because of their location and their easy access to both the Kazinti region of space, the Affront region of space, and the Ursay, that region of space that allows them to essentially they're a gathering point for a lot of Terran goods and Terran services that are moving into those alien regions.
I'll say, hey, is it Chimera? Is her name?
Chimera, yeah.
Chimera. Speaking of your security dockside job, you had a colleague, an Ursay. There can't be that many roaming around the station. Tell me about him.
There's my boss is at Dockside Security isn't an Ursay, but there's a fair amount of them running around Greenpernt Station.
Let's talk about your boss.
My boss is Bill Taylor. He owns Dockside Security.
And Bill Taylor, what kind of work does he have you do besides your regular 9 to 5 stuff? I'm sure you're trying to you have a little side hustle stuff just to make ends meet. Greenpernt's Gotta, you know.
No. I don't do any of that because if we get caught stealing anything from the secure areas or anything like that, we're immediately fired on the spot. They don't Bill's dockside security doesn't tolerate that, and I need this job. I've worked there for a while.
And Kimira, I
That's
was there.
bad news
You
there.
tried to take my head off with a shotgun, and I hadn't done anything yet. I was just.
I don't remember
so,
anything like that. That sounds crazy. I would never do that.
Do I feel that? No, what's my take on this?
Give me another roll.
Okay, one second.
2d6 plus. I think your intelligence roll was
Yeah.
+3.
That's plus 3. There you
Yeah,
go.
she's
The
lying.
gentleman's threes. Okay.
She's lying.
Like,
You
yeah,
think she's lying?
like I'm just here to have an easy conversation. My colleague will be happy to come back and have.
No. Hey, wait.
Finish
I want to help you
conversation.
guys.
But you're lying. I mean,
What do
you
what
have
do
to,
What do you want me to say? I
name.
work for Ursay, named
Bill.
Ghazi.
Ghazi. Okay, and tell me a little bit about Ghazi.
Ghazi, and you see you're sort of like looking around. He's a kidnapper, and sometimes he calls me, and I help him with kidnappings.
Okay, that's great. I mean, we all got to have a side job. So tell me a little about the kidnappings. Who's buying?
That's Ghazi does that. I don't know. So, but that's yeah. I just help him. Make sure that everything goes smoothly. I just help him like with the kidnappings.
Okay, so Ghazi, is he in the bear porn? Because we got no, never mind.
Way into it. Way into it.
All right, so Ghazi, real quick. Now, is he a Greenpernt local, or is he like somebody comes and goes?
Yeah. No, he lives. He spends a lot of time. I don't know where he lives. He spends a lot of time in Greenpernt, but not always. Sometimes he's not in Greenpernt.
Okay. And let's see. Let's just get one more name. There was 2 women originally, right? And then there was another dude that was dropped off. Was it a woman who dropped off? Another.
It was a dude.
Okay. What was his name? I'm trying to remember his name. Anybody remember his name?
Would have been either Bill or Stacy.
Well, not so people. So Bill or Stacy
Bill
are only
Stacy.
people who are from Greenpernt. There are a lot of people who are there. Like you guys don't change your name to Bill when you dock at Greenpernt Station, although maybe you should. All right, hold on a second. So you remember, and you probably asked Gin, what was the name of that guy? And his name was Iresh.
Oh, yeah, Iresh. Now, Iresh, tell me a little bit about him.
Iresh, yeah, he was security too for Ghazi, and we worked together on a lot of kidnappings.
Okay. Well, tell me a little bit about the kidnappings. We're a merchant group here. Maybe we have like interest. What do you?
So we would kidnap.
it?
So we would look into people who are wealthy and who their parents were wealthy, and we would when they go clubbing, we would kidnap them, and then we would force their parents to sort of buy them back for us, depending on how much we could get.
I get it.
It was Iresh who used to do the arrangements and contact everybody and get them get them and pick up the money, that kind of thing.
So what happens when you finally run into the Liam Neeson parent, who's not going to pay, but he's going to track you down one by one and snap your neck? How do you handle that?
Well, usually we check our targets very carefully to make sure that there's no Liam Neesons in there.
Well, I don't know if you met my colleague here, but they have a particular set of skills they'd like to introduce. Okay.
Look. If we kidnapped somebody that was friend of yours or something, look, I'm really sorry about that. It was just a job, right? It's nothing. I just do it for the money.
It's all just business. I got it.
I just do it for the money for Ghazi.
All right. So a couple more things. Ghazi, where do you contact him, or how does he contact you when the job is to be done?
He just calls me up when he needs help. But sometimes he needs me, and sometimes he don't. He just lets me know, through a message. He's got my number. I never contact him.
Mm.
All right, and Jen, can Jen reach out to Greenpernt and see if they can look up said Ghazi, because I can't imagine he's in the phone book.
I can't imagine he's in the phone book.
Absolutely can, Mr. Jix.
Period.
K for kidnapping.
So we're
Under
making progress.
K
here.
for kidnapping.
Yeah. So when Ghazi, how do you reach out to him when you want to get paid or you got to tell him something?
Whenever the job is done, he just puts the money in. The money transfers into my account. That's. I never call him. He always calls me when he needs me.
Yeah. All right. Well, I got to track this Ghazi guy down. I got to ask him some questions. Anybody else? You might help me help you that you can think of here. Are you hungry? You want some soup or something? You look a little.
No soup.
I'm gonna rap on the door with a spoon and say, "Hey, how's it going in there?"
Keep him away from me.
Clang,
Look,
clang.
I've told you everything I know. Keep that guy away from me. He's nuts.
I'll look a little scared too. Like, yeah, we're just having a conversation here. Come on. So what else? What else can you tell me?
That's all I know. I've only done it a couple of times. I just needed the money. That's all. Being dockside security. I mean, it's a good job, and I want to keep it, but it doesn't pay very much. So I just did it a couple of times.
So let's say we get back to Greenpernt. How are you going to help me reach out to Ghazi so we can ask him a couple of questions?
I don't.
Good question.
Like I said, I don't know that I can. I don't have his connection or anything like that. But I might be able to. I might be able to talk to some people I know that might be able to find him. I could do that for you.
I'm gonna burst into the room.
Okay.
Well,
Don't hit me! Don't hit me! Don't hit me!
He has a bowl.
He's brought a fork this time.
Yeah. And a colander. I think he's prepared to use it.
I stand there, spoon in hand, and
Keep him away from me, please, Mr. Jix.
I just look at her.
She starts crying immediately.
Well, you know what? I want her to know that I know and she knows what we both do. I know and she knows, and she knows and I know how this is gonna turn out unless she gives up all that she knows.
Look! I know some people on Greenpernt. I could probably find Ghazi. I think, I definitely think that we could probably make that happen. So, if we're going to Greenpernt, I could take you to those people, and that could work. That would definitely work.
I want you to tell me how.
Well,
we're gonna find them.
So,
Who do you know?
they know people, and they know people. I'm sure it would work. I'm sure we could convince them to tell us how to find Ghazi.
You know what? We got to
let
establish a level of trust here that we got to, give me a name so that I can have a chat with him first. We'll fuck around. We're still going to need you to get with Ghazi. We're going to make this right? You're going to help me make this right.
We've talked to Edmashi. Edmashi knows. Edmashi's worked with Ghazi too. They've known each other for a long time. Edmashi will know, and I can talk to him.
Where do we find Amashi? Where was we set this conversation?
Well, I mean, he lives in Greenpernt. He's on the station. I mean, I can find him. I mean, when we come back, I'll find him. Edmashi's. That's definitely the way to go.
Okay, I think we made some pretty good progress here.
But
Chief, do you have any other questions?
Well, are we confident that we know just how she's gonna connect us with Ghazi and who she needs? Who? Hibashi?
Amashi. I'll talk to Khmer again.
Edmashi is the name she says to you.
All right.
Look, you can imagine as we work through this, we need to have these questions, and we can't just have you running up and talking to people. We don't have control of that situation. You understand it. You've been in the kidnapping business. we got to have a conversation where the man, up front with them. So I would appreciate you could tell me where I can find them myself. All checks out. You go on your merry way to your back to your old life.
Ma'am?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Admashi likes to hang out in a place called Bill's Pub. There's thousands of them, but there are hundreds of Bill's Pubs. But I'll give you the coordinates. And she actually is like, "Do you have a data pad? I can enter the coordinates."
Just talk to Jen.
Okay, and she tells Jin basically a series of numbers. And Jin's like, I've pulled up a map of Greenpernt Station, and these numbers do in fact correspond with one of the 132 locations of Bill's Pub.
Okay, Bill's Pub. Great. I think we made some real progress here today. Can I get you anything else while you're waiting as our guest?
She's looking at Coffin and she's like, anything but soup.
Okay.
All right, so I will thank her for her time very politely, and I will back out of the room.
Okay.
And I'll wait on the other side of the door.
I want to, we both know that if any of this information is not valid, then I'm going to come in here with my spoon, and we're going to close the door, and we're going to shut off the video.
The Aunt Jemima treatment.
Jesus.
Did you bring the magic suitcase? Well, that's some deep cuts flying lately. All right, so she looks suitably afraid.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. And I nod in a professional, knowing way, because she knows and I know. We both know. We both know what's what. And then I leave. I leave in a professional, courteous manner.
Okay.
Do we need to secure her somewhere where she's a little more?
Well, she's locked. She's sealed in the med lab, so she can't really get out of there. Jin, you've already instructed Jin not to open that door for any.
Yeah, but we may need the med lab.
True. I mean, she was strapped down. Coffin unstrapped her. She wasn't strapped when you guys left, but you probably could strap her back down if you wanted to, unless you're going to give her something to eat.
You know what?
Or a spooner.
I vote we leave her unstrapped for now. I mean, can I make a perception check? Does she seem like she's a real threat? We have what, 6 guys, one of her.
You wouldn't think so. She's still very weak. So she's only been conscious for a couple of days.
Okay.
So yeah, you would suspect that. She hasn't built up any more of her muscle tone or body fat. She hasn't had an opportunity. Yeah, she's really weak.
Okay, and Dr. Wagner, are you confident that you have removed all enhancements from her?
Yes, but we don't know what her survival skills are. There's a reason I've kept her sedated and strapped down, is because I don't know what she knows. I don't know what she can assemble or disassemble. Are there any scalpels or lasers? No, but that doesn't mean she couldn't cobble something together, if you will.
And I think, Dr. Wagner would say, look, the thing that she managed to get a hold of wasn't a scalpel or anything. It was more than anything, it would be a very rudimentary truncheon, a bludgeoning weapon. You get reviewing the tape of her doing it that Jin shows you. It looked like she was just desperate to have anything at hand.
Okay, cool.
She sort of looked around, but she didn't. It wasn't a knife. Those weren't out.
Okay. Then 2 things. Dr. Wagner, does she still need medical care in med lab?
Yes, she's still healing from the major surgery.
Okay, so we
And it's
can't.
spooning now.
Gotcha.
And just spooning.
Okay.
And it's going to take time for her muscle to build back up
Okay.
after being in basically a coma for the past month or so.
About 5 weeks, 6 weeks.
Okay, so we can't just clear out a spare room, lock her in there, and call it jail. Okay, fine. Then
Well, don't we have a brig?
No.
This isn't that kind of ship.
yeah. All right. Okay.
But she can stay in Coffin's room.
No thanks.
Well, you guys got some open rooms. I mean, you could.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, is use one of the empty quarters and just rig it so it can't be opened or anything.
Yeah, she doesn't need to be specifically in the med lab, but she still needs medical care.
All right. Could we confine her in a cleared out guest room, and maybe then Dr. Wagner, with an escort, when needed, could attend to her?
If that's a question for me, I don't see why not.
Okay. Dr. Wagner, what is your professional
I think
opinion?
I think that she'll be fine. I just need to
Okay.
check on her at least twice a day, make sure
Okay.
her fluids are good, her pupils are good, that her cerebral and motor skills.
Hey, Les.
Yeah.
I'm going to take out the computer monitor and terminals and everything from the room we're going to put her in.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm assuming it's this room right here.
Yeah.
Well, what
The
if
one
we
he's been pinging?
What
Yeah.
if we left the computer in there but put a sort of honeypot thing on it? She's not really dialing out, but we can simulate her dialing out and see where she tries to go.
Well, remember that you guys are in jump space, so there's you can't get a normal signal in jump space. So it would be, if she was going to try and send something out, she would try to do it at when you guys were transitioning from the first jump to the second jump, because that's the only time when you can send subspace.
Okay. Well, here's my thought. I mean, I don't want to strap her down. If she's awake. I mean, my God, I'm not a torturer.
A spoon-wielding psychotic.
Instead, but there are just too many fiddly things, gadgets in MedLab, which a competent survivalist might contrive into some sort of weapon. So I would like to confine her in a relatively cleared out room.
Can do that.
All right. And now and then, Dr. Wagner and I can go check on her, make sure she's okay.
All right, cool. So essentially what you guys do is you get clear out some of the stuff from that stateroom, and you can you basically you get her up. I don't know if Coffin or probably Dr. Wagner would do it. Sort of get her up on her feet. She sort of staggers very slowly over there, and you can put her in that room very easily. And you can also, I'm assuming you're going to tell Gin that door does not open for anyone except for crew, regardless of what she does.
And just have Gin monitor, just make sure she's not doing anything untoward. Sure.
Yep. Could put a couple of pin cans in there and basically watch her 24 hours a day.
Right. All right, cool.
Okey-doke.
All right.
Okay, cool.
All right.
I'm disturbed that you record this episode, Les, because I know it's going to come back to haunt all of us later. So tell me about the woman you had captive. But no, it was an NPC. You don't understand.
No, we were spooning.
You're just spooning. All right. So, over time, and you guys visit her, Coffin, you and Wagner visit her a couple of times a day. She does seem to be getting better. She's eating regular food. you could see, you kind of, every once in a while review sort of some of the recordings that Gin is doing and just kind of watch her. You see her, she's beginning to sort of move. She's working out her own thing. You can see her start to do things like push-ups and walk back and forth, sort of like prison exercises that you would do to sort of get her muscle tone back.
We call those quarantine exercises now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She doesn't say anything to you guys, and I'm assuming you don't ask her any more questions when Wagner comes in to check on her and that kind of thing. And pretty soon you fall out of jump space about midway to Greenpernt. You got another week of travel ahead of you. Before you get to Greenpernt Station, do you guys do anything else through that time except for just sort of like carry on with normal shipboard life?
I'm working there any angle I can do to find those two names on Greenpernt.
All right, so you could send subspace messages while you guys drop out of things. The problem is the likelihood of getting a response that quickly is low.
Yeah, and I don't want anybody that can rabbit our quarry. I just want to just do some casual searches.
Hey, Les.
Okay. Yeah.
Give me ability to share my screen.
How do I do that?
Make me a presenter and participants.
Okay. Hold on a second.
This is how Donna plants the virus in Les's cortex.
Remove, make host.
Make host.
Okay. All right. All right. Go for it. I'll stop my share too.
About to
Okay,
get
yeah.
some,
What's going on here? Somebody's calling an audible.
I'm practicing making this face. Do you see that?
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The guy that called Palmer about the Steiner Library.
Right.
Okay.
Just in case we want to do anything with that.
With
The
that
hell
face.
is this?
Okay.
Is that your Crime Stoppers face? Have you seen this man?
Well, that was so Palmer's AI was destroyed. Otherwise, he would have a recording of the call. But somebody reached out to him about purchasing the Steiner Library,
Right.
and Palmer went to a artist and said, "This is what the guy looked like," and that was the image that was the result of that meeting.
Right.
This is the guy I talked to. Okay. So am I back to being the presenter?
You're presenter again.
Okay. Host disabled. What happened?
You'll disable me is what it is. Probably.
Okay.
The preferred term is differentially able.
Hold on.
Set the self-destruct.
It won't allow me to share my screen. Do you have to stop being a host? Is that what you got to do?
Yes. Though you can set Zoom to allow anybody to share their screen, which will save you this time.
Right now.
They
Okay.
recently added that.
Ah, there we go. Okay.
They added it because of Zoom bombing.
Okay. Do you see the ship?
Hi, Tom.
Hey guys.
Hey, Tom. Welcome, buddy.
Hey, how
I
you all
hope you-
doing?
We're beating a woman with a spoon.
I hope you missed all that.
It's all on the recording, so don't worry.
I just
right,
so-
texted you Jim Masterson's email.
Yeah, did you want me to put him on the list of people?
Yeah,
So that's-
whenever you get around to it. I was kind
Okay.
of explaining to him he doesn't have a clue about any of this kind of stuff.
Okay. All right. I'll put him on the list.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So, do you want to? So, Weber, do you want to send a subspace message to Bill Scaramouche, or do you want to wait until you get to Greenpernt and just hail him?
I think I want to hail him, but I don't want, just in case he's in a pocket of this bear dude, of Gaza?
Well, Ghazi is the name she gave you.
Ghazi,
Yeah.
okay. Not Fozzie.
Not Fozzie Bear, Ghazi. And she pronounced it a little funny. It was she's obviously injured, but she was like, it was like Ghazi kind of thing.
So you guys got a Bill Scaramouche here too, huh?
Yeah, we had a Bill Scaramouche last night.
Yeah, he's everywhere. So
the Bill Scaramouche here predates the one from last night. I just
I figured.
I'm running out of surnames.
Maybe
I'll
it's the same
just,
guy.
I'll just remind
It's the
Captain
same
Black
guy.
that I'm going to ask Captain Black to disperse a little spread around money for when I get to the docks to find my quarry quickly.
Hey, you got that 75 credits.
No.
Killer credits.
Take it out of petty cash.
Bill credits,
Doc.
you're right.
There, Captain. Yeah, take it out of petty cash. That's my money.
Sure, we'll give you some petty cash. No worries.
Okay.
Yeah, we do need to offload our cargo and stuff. So.
All right, so you guys go back into jump. Jin is running the ship. You guys and Tam, you assisted with some of the calculations, but you guys get back into jump space. And a week later, you fall out of jump space outside of Greenpernt system, and Jin notifies you that Greenpernt system control has reached out. We've got key lock sequence. We are networked, and we are cleared to approach Greenpernt Station, and so June says, "Shall I approach, Mr. Tam?"
Yes.
Okay, and so the ship is sort of going on reactor toward Greenpernt Station.
Am I deliberately keeping our hostage prisoner guest weak? Because
I don't know. I mean, do you want to do that? Like you're modifying the nutrient feed in her undifferentiated molecular base?
Her gruel.
Cruel.
Well, so
If that's what you're asking, Dr. Wagner, we wouldn't have asked you to.
what?
The captain has not asked you to do that. Whether or not you do it on your own is up to you.
Oh no,
Right.
I was thinking I'm a better doctor than that. She's like on the verge of death.
Well, she's got now about 10 days of non-coma time, and she's starting to get better. I mean, she can walk. Her voice is better. She's putting on weight. Unless you're asking Jin to artificially reduce the nutrient count in the meals that you have Jin build for her. She would begin to start to look like her old self.
I would say probably keep her on the weak side, but not like on the precipice of death like she looks now.
So you basically could tell Jin to take out what, like 25% of the nutrients or 15% of the nutrients?
Yeah, I don't want her getting full strength, but I
Low
want her,
protein diet.
if we have to trade
low
her,
protein.
turn her in, I don't want anyone to go, well, no, she.
I will remind all viewers that we do not have a woman captive in reality. That this is strictly a simulation. All beatings were simulated.
All beatings were simulated.
Video games are evil.
All right, so he says, so you start out with 50% nutrient deficiency, and she starts to get sick again. So you bulk it up to 75, and that seems to be a nice happy medium. She's still getting stronger, but it's slower than if you were providing her full recommended nutrients.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, it's slower. In the meantime, she is exhibiting a fair amount of what I would call self-discipline. So she spends her time. At one point, she asks you guys for a data pad or a terminal so she can read. She's just sitting there. I don't know if you guys give it. Do you guys give her something that she can read? It doesn't necessarily.
Sure.
Jane can control it and make sure she doesn't do anything. So at first, she does actually access ship's library and stuff like that, and reads and that kind of stuff. She does make. She doesn't try and send a message, but she does kind of like poke at the edges of her.
To see if she can get out.
Well, she kind of, with the data pad, she kind of pokes at the edges of her permissions to see what she can and can't do. Jin's got that pretty locked down at your instructions, so it becomes pretty clear to her very, very quickly.
It's only natural for her to try.
Yeah, she does do that, but also she exercises a fair amount. So she's spending a lot of time walking back and forth in her cell. She's doing push-ups. It's not. She's certainly not full strength. She can do 2 or 3, maybe 4 push-ups at a time, and then she'll stop and rest for a little while. Then maybe do a couple more. But it is. I mean, Wagner, you're pretty sure she's getting stronger. She's not 100% by any stretch.
Les?
Yeah.
I would like to analyze the techniques she used to test her permissions, because that might give me an idea of how proficient she is with computers.
Give me a computer check.
No.
It hasn't shown up yet. What did you roll?
I haven't rolled yet. I have an engineering.
Or you're just okay. So you don't have any computer skill.
I don't have necessarily computer skill.
Engineering will work. Do an engineering skill.
Well, let me just give you a.
7.
7 on
Yeah.
computers. Let me show you engineering
Okay.
just to see if it's any better.
It's better.
9.
But well, it didn't look.
Yeah.
It didn't look purposeful. Like she was just trying. She tried to access like the door control, and it was denied. Then she tried to access, like pin cam control, so she could see outside of her room. Denied. She did various kinds of things like that, and drone control. Nothing. At one point she tried to check. Engine and like the reactor capabilities, which
Status and stuff, right?
Reactor status denied. So really, she only, according to Jen, she only has access to ship's library, and in large part, ship's library only a truncated version of ship's library that includes various kinds of non-news material. She does not
It
have
only highlights magazines until she takes her own life.
Yeah, exactly. She takes her own life. It's basically, and then from then on, once she tests it, she doesn't go back, and from then on, it's classic Terran novels.
Can she read Goofus and Gallant?
Yes, exactly. What to do when you're kidnapping somebody, what not to do. Goofus is definitely the kidnapper.
Goofus tortures a woman with a spoon. Gallant offers her soup. Yeah, she doesn't do anything outlandish. So you guys get pinged. Jin said, "Yeah, we're pinged. And you're powering in." Jin will also say that you guys are getting a subspace voice transmission from Greenpernt Station. Do you want me to wideband that?
Put it on the screen.
Yeah, except not to the prisoner, but yeah.
Not to everywhere but the prisoner.
Yeah.
So Jin goes, starting audio now, and then you hear her voice his voice in the background. Sorry, sir, you are live in the Gin and Tonic, and you hear it's like, hey, is that the dang Gin and Tonic I see flying in my space again? I'll be damned if it ain't. How you boys doing?
How are you, Bill?
I'm doing great.
Agree.
Everything here in Greenpernt is just hunky dory as usual. It's good to see y'all back. I'm out here in a little shuttle. You guys mind if I come to meet you? I know you guys got docking rights over at the ring, and sounds like, at least from what your AI is telling me, is that you got a shitload of cargo that you unload. That's a pretty good sight. We love cargo here. But y'all mind if I come on out and talk with you in person for a moment before you get to the ring?
Like we have a choice, Bill. Come on.
Well, there's always a choice here in Greenpernt. You know that. Weber. Hey, Weber, while I'm trucking out there, you didn't bring some of that good scotch back from Mirabilis, did you?
We brought
Yeah,
lots.
Moosh, you know I did.
Oh boy, I knew I was gonna like hanging out with you guys. I tell you what, I'm gonna gun the shuttle here. You tell that AI of yours to go ahead and let me dock when I show up. All right, and I'll just piggyback with you guys all the way in and into Greenpernt Station, and we'll have us chat. Sound good?
Great.
Sounds delightful.
All right, I'll see you in a few.
See
And
ya.
Jin's like, transmission ended.
Christ, this is gonna be expensive. I can feel it. All right.
Hey, Les, didn't my buddy back?
Chopper?
Chuck's character's name. Sorry. Didn't he mention
Erlin Spofulum.
have a little conversation with our friends back here in Greenpernt, not to bother us anymore?
They said he did.
Okay, good. Just checking.
Let's check. We were saying that while you were offline, Les, that we thought Spofulum sounds like a colleague or a competitor of Cosgrove Progress. Rockets.
Could be. You do know that they are a family-run, multi-generational high-orbit corporation. So essentially, basically, there are a lot of Spofulums, and what will happen is, at least the rumor has it, is that like in any family-run corporation, there are good executives, and there are less good executives.
Less good.
And so what they've
If
done is
only there was a family organization we could think of that has good executives and less good executives.
imagine if you
Huh.
will. So anyway, what they
I
do
digress.
is Spopulum has been very good about recognizing quality executive talent in their own family. And what they do is they basically park the less good ones in rudimentary jobs. But the really good executives, what they tend to do is they'll do what they call, and they've piled up a few of them from multiple generations. And what they do is they call it staggered management. And essentially, what they'll do is they'll have one of their talented executives sort of run the show for a period of 2 to 4 years, and then they'll put them in cryo, and then they'll freeze a different executive that they've had in cryo, and he or she takes over, sort of running things, so that it's not so that power isn't concentrated in one person, but that they can take advantage of the talent exhibited by various generations. So in some cases, you have great grandparents who have spent a fair amount of time in cryo, but they only get thawed out for 2 to 4 year periods to sort of run things and that kind of stuff. So suddenly you can have a great grandfather and his great granddaughter working side by side as executives in the thing, because they have different levels. They've been in cryo for different amounts of times.
Nice. That reminds me of the hot black Desiato from Disaster Area. He spends a year dead for tax purposes. You meet him at the restaurant at the end of the universe. Remember?
Yeah. It's a little reminiscent of how they have the old vampires kind of wake up and take over at various periods of the while then they sleep for a while, like the really old ones, like in the movie Underworld.
Were you about to reveal that you read a lot of Twilight, Russ? Because that's what it felt like.
Well, I think that's painfully clear from a lot of my storylines that I've come through.
Yeah. You were writing a little Twilight.
Love Twilight.
Fanfic.
Fly hard.
Love Twilight. It's
Are
probably
you
my favorite.
Team Eric, or what are the team? What are the team? I don't even know.
Wasn't it Team Jacob? And what's the other dork?
What's the
He's the vampire, right?
Edward, yeah.
Edward?
Yeah.
Okay. Team Edward, yeah. Which one's the sparkly vampire?
Edward's a vampire, I think.
Edward. Okay. All right. That's nice. Good to know. I can use that. I'll weave it into the story for this game.
My wife was a personal trainer for one of the other family members in that movie.
Really?
The sister with the short hair. She married a guy here in New Jersey. So
No kidding.
Personal trainer. I can't think of her name now.
It's pretty cool.
Eric Christian.
All right, so it's about an hour and a half, but eventually Gin hits you up with a prox alert. We have a proximity alert. A Greenpernt shuttle is approaching. He has all the. It's Bill Scaramouche, and it sounds like a pilot. Mr. Scaramouche has assured me that the pilot will be staying on the ship, but that he wants to board. Captain Black, does he have permission to board the ship?
Allow him on.
All right, so
I'll park myself over here by the table and crack the scotch.
Gin says, "I've just extended the permission to the shuttle," and the response was, and I quote, "Thanks, y'all."
That's classic Scaramouche.
So eventually you can hear the sort of like you don't feel it or anything, but Gin alerts you to the fact that the shuttle is docked, goes through TAM. For you on your neural lace, he's going through the check-in period, pressure equalization, oxygen flood, on the pressure doors opening. Your guest is arrived and is coming up the lift. And pretty soon you see good old Bill Scaramouche coming. He's like, "Hey boys at the Gin Tonic, good to see you. How the hell have y'all been?"
I'm envisioning him in like a 10-gallon hat, like what's his name wore in Bonanza.
Hoss.
He does not wear a hat.
Oh yeah, Hoss. Okay, thank you. I gotta forget Hoss's name.
I'm finding his thing here. You're gonna be actually kind of surprised at what he looks like.
He looks like Hoss.
I'll Spotify put on Space Cowboy for him.
Gonna put him in the thing there.
He looks like? Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's not so much a Texan as a Southerner.
There's good old Bill.
Magnificent man.
Tennessee.
Bill scared me. He's like, "Hey, y'all, good to see you again." He comes in, plops down on the couch. Oh, he comes over. He goes, "Oh, is that
Yeah.
Scotch?" Weber
Right
gives
over here, Bill.
Weber gives you grabs hands. He pulls you in for a big hug. He's like, "Dr. Wagner, good to see you again, my man. I'm not sick." And Mr. Doyle, good to see you again. I hope everything's going well. And
Over the loudspeaker, Tam says good morning to him.
is that Tam? How you doing, boy?
Doing well, doing well.
Good to hear from you, brother. I'll see you later.
Okay.
And then Captain Black, are you on the bridge or are you coming in as well?
Oh, I'd come visit. Maybe even have a glass of scotch with him.
All right. If it isn't Jet Black in the flesh, well, it's good. I tell you what, it is good to see the Gin Tonic back in my space. Good to see you guys. Glad to see you with a full load. We're loving it over here. So I just want to come aboard, have a quick conversation before you all got into Greenpernt Station. Nothing to be amiss. I just wanted to let you know that I got a little note and a little message from your friend, Mr. Spoffulam up in Mirabilis. And let me just tell you that we are going to be extending you every courtesy as we normally do, but any friend of Mr. Spoffulam's is a friend of mine, so you can look to me for anything that you need or any questions that you may have, because we are in alignment on most things. Now, I will tell you, I don't want to see any more gunplay in my station. I'm just telling you. But I just want to let you know that we did have a little conversation with Mr. Spoffulam, and we understand. We are now understanding of each other of how you're all to be how you all be treated from now on around here, and I can just assure you that you will be treated to the with all of the finest things available. Second,
I will. Go ahead.
No, go. What were you saying?
No, I'm gonna as he talks, I'm gonna keep pouring the scotch up. Give him three measures there.
All right.
This is all good news so far.
I do love this scotch, Weber. I sure do appreciate you bringing me some of this. This is fine scotch. Now
I got a fresh bottle for you right over here too. You can take it.
Weber, see, I knew that you and I are going to get along famously. I just knew it when I first met you last time y'all was here. So the other thing is, we got message that there's a person coming to meet y'all here by the name of Wen Kawasaki. Now she's headed for she docked at Greenpernt Station a couple of days ago, and she's expected a call. Now it's probable that Greenpernt Station has already alerted her. My understanding is that she had a standing alert with our AI all set up so that when you guys entered system space, it should get a notice. So my understanding is that she is anxious and ready to meet with y'all when you get a moment and get docked. So my understanding is she comes from Spoffulam.
Oh,
okay.
God.
I'm drawing a blank who she is.
Yeah.
Is she that corporate shill? Is that?
Yeah, we were told we would.
Looks like to me.
Or corporate stooge, as they would call him on.
She got her credentials, Spoffulam credentials are exceptional. So I would say that when it's corporate stooges go, she's probably one of them. But I'll tell you what, I think, and this is just my personal opinion. I've been talking to people for a long time. I've been meeting a lot of people. I've been a lot of places, and I know a lot of faces. But I'll tell you what, I think this Kawasaki gal, I think there's more to her than meets the eye, my friend. And I would cross her at my peril. It's just it's not a word of warning. She seems perfectly nice. I like her. But I just want to let you know that she's waiting for you at some point. You're going to, while you're on station, you're probably going to want to get together with her at some point. That was the other message. I did, and he takes that second bottle of scotch, the sealed one, and he sort of puts it in the pocket of his carry-all kind of thing. And he says, I did have one other thing to tell you guys, and frankly, this is the reason that I came out all this way on a shuttle rather than talk to you in the thing. Greenpert's got no less ears around. Walls have ears, and Greenpert Station just like everybody else. And I know your AI is probably listening to us right now, but I figure that's probably okay. But I did want to let you know that after I got the call from Mr. Spoffulam, I did a little bit of digging on your behalf, and we had some interesting query trends about you guys specifically. Now, it started out. I just want to let you know. It started out where our AI was being asked about freight levels. Now, this is normal kind of thing. Everybody's got freight coming. We're a commercial station, that kind of thing. But these guys were specifically looking at dates and times when your little ship here, the Gin and Tonic, was on station, and they were specifically looking at the dates and times when you guys had your little legal kerfuffle last time y'all were here. So I followed those query tracks, and we traced it back. You had the AI trace it back, and we got some interesting follow-up queries in the search database. The first one, once they did some whoever's doing this, and we weren't able to do it. It was from a one-time IP address, but randomly distributed, which we do a lot of. It wasn't on Neural Lace or anything. Somebody was using a terminal to do this, and a lot of those can't be traced back to an individual. But once they'd made their freight level queries, it was like who was here, who was dropping off cargo, that kind of thing. We saw queries on ship name, Gin and Tonic, and then we saw queries on names. Mr. Captain Black, your name was among them. Mr. Tam and Mr. Doyle, your names were searched on our database. Now, this is about 2.5, 3 weeks ago. So it would have been before you guys left Mirabilis. But somebody was checking y'all out on our AI's database. Now, I want to come out here and let you know that. I don't know who. I tried to trace it back for you, but that's all I know. But I wanted to let you guys in on it and make sure that you were aware that somebody had run some go-tos on you guys.
Wow,
Thank you
well, that
very much
is
for that.
mighty kind.
Appreciate it.
You know, we got some business that maybe, you know, it involves our mutual friend, but also might be something we discussed as a secondary arrangement of, you know, remuneration to you and your cousins that you might have information that we're looking for while we're here.
Well, it's possible. I mean, if you got something that you want me to specifically take a look at, I mean, I'd be happy to do it for you. You don't have to give me anything.
Well, there's two associates of a competitor of our mutual friend who've made some trouble for us. May have been part of that kerfuffle last time. Now, we didn't know who those folks were. We were just here minding our own business, dropping off cargo when all that went down. You know, and I appreciate you smoothing that. I'm picking up a southern accent too. Damn it. We appreciate you. We appreciate you picking. You know.
You sure you're not from Greenpernt? You sure? Is your name Bill?
Yeah, we appreciate you smoothing that stuff over for us last time. You know, it's mighty kind. But here are the two names of the individuals. Maybe you know them. There can't be that many Ursa running around the station. You don't know. But I'm looking for this one name, Gazay. Was that there? I keep forgetting how to pronounce this.
Gossi is what she told you.
Gossi.
Gossi.
I forget what the French Gossi. And Emerant or Amerigant.
Ed Mashi.
This is why you're playing all digital. I don't have somewhere to write this down anymore.
And so you hear him. So he pops up. You see him. You know, he does that thing where you can tell he's kind of like going to lace real quick. And he's like, he says, I'm just getting my network out. Tell me that one name again. What you know anything about these people? Was it Gossi?
Gossi. He does a little import-export of live cargo, let's we say. And
all right.
But apparently Gossi, you're an immigrant. God damn it! You just told me it.
Ed Mashi.
M. Night Shyamalan says that that's his go-to guy, his fixer. Sounds like so. Where Gossi's more the muscle mastermind.
All right. Well, let me do a couple of quick queries. You see him sort of his eyes rolls up a little bit, and he's like, and you can see he's like doing that. He's like, well, we don't have anybody. He goes, I threw Gossi in there and got the phone book. We probably have 400 people that have some sort of variation of Gossi, Gazzy, Ghazi, or something in their name. I got to be a little bit more specific. You don't know anything else about this guy, do you?
He's a bear. How many bears you got wandering a station?
He's a bear. Well, that certainly lightens it up. Let me try that.
He's prone to the docks too.
All right. Let me do that. And you see him goes back. He's like, yep. We got one bear on station right now, name of Gossi Pradock. Does that sound right?
That's our man.
Gossi
A
Pradock.
little
All
bit.
right. Well, he is registered import export flying out of Ursay. He's a point man, so he's not ship based. He lives in Greenpernt. He works for an import export guy, but according to his sheet, which we got him, his employment records, he's a fairly junior level guy. Are you sure this is the guy you want, this Gossi Pradock? He doesn't own anything or anything. He's just a worker bee for one of the Ursay contingency.
I'm going to say that maybe a little bit more to him meets the eye, but he's definitely somebody we want to talk to. What about anybody, known associates that might fit the name of the other one? Emerald Lagassi's pal?
Edmashi? He's like, all right, let me check that one out. Hold on a
I
second.
think it's going to be part of Weber Jix's thing. I'm going to have to butcher names at every station we go to now.
Okay. Here we go. We got, this is another guy, Ed Mashi. Ed Wirakun Ed Mashi. We're familiar, RAI is familiar with him. 2 instances of drunken disorderly, 1 instance of disturbing the peace, 1 instance of firing off a weapon in a controlled area. He's got a record. This guy, he's got no fixed employment, but he looks like he's done some work in the past. He's got, he's done a little bit of computer consulting when he has a job, which he doesn't right now. When he's working, it's usually in computers or electronics. He seems he's got a pretty good set of hands when he deigns to stop drinking to use them. He's on station as well.
So, Bill.
Your Ghazi guy doesn't have a record.
Oh yeah, Bill. Real quick, like if my teammates want to have a word with us, but we don't want hostilities to break out. What would be your play? And knowing that they might rabbit if they know the law is looking for them. We're not the law. We're having a conversation between competitors.
You asking for their apartment coordinates? Because I could certainly help you out in that regard.
I think that might be what we're looking for. Maybe some suggestions on how to contain a situation in a way, or pay a fine in advance if something would happen. We don't have any sort of situation like last time where you gotta flag us on the way out.
Tell you what, I got some boys I know down in station security. I'll just let it be known that you guys might have to have a discreet conversation with a couple of people, and that if any comes up with your names, and I'll make sure they know your names. If anything comes up, I'll just make sure they know to have me called, and we can make sure that happens. In the meantime, I'll port over their housing coordinates, and that way that'll help you have those little conversations.
Don, thank you. Hang on, just aside, Don, real quick, does Tam have to see a person personally to memorize their look, or can he do it from an image?
The better the image, the better. If I've got like a side and front profile, that helps.
Okay.
The more information I have as to how they look and or act, actually, video is even better because I can get their mannerisms better.
So that's what I'll just tell our friend here is that we understand that they have a specific pub they like hanging out at. Bill's
Pub, very popular here.
Yeah, and that's where we expect to at least pick up one of these guys to have a conversation with. But is there any way we can pull video feeds so we can take a look at these guys until we have to confront them? The bear I've seen personally, but I don't know the other guy.
Let me see what I can do. And you see him sort of his eyes roll back in his head again. He's like, yeah, I've just so we got a couple of different videos of that Ed Masha character, which you've seen him. So you should be able to get a good look at him. Now there's no audio to it other than ambient, because there's security videos. There are videos from when he committed his crimes, which were brought up in court. So that's public domain stuff. I don't have any security cam footage of this Gossi Pradock. That's not altogether that's not altogether out of the ordinary. If he's never committed any crimes, doesn't have any criminal record. So in many cases, there would be no public available footage. Most of your ambient footage, hallways down the ring, things like that, they wouldn't be tagged for people. We don't do facial recognition, and it's hard as hell to do anyway on the Ursays. The bears, they all look the same to me. But so we don't have anything. I do have his work card shot, and he'll send you a picture of the guy that you can look at. But it's not video. I don't have any video about him.
Okay. Captain Black, Tam, anybody else have anything else they want to ask our friend so we can get on his way?
Oh, you asked the question I was hoping you'd ask.
Yeah, good job.
We have one more thing that we should discuss here.
All right.
If we were, say, to take custody of somebody that might be of a nefarious background that needs to have a word with the law, where can we drop that person off? You know, sort of a night drop sort of situation where we don't want to be there to explain things, but this person will be fully alive, just, detained.
That's why I knew I was going to have fun. That's why I wanted to be the guy to come out here to the Gin Tonic, because frankly, every time I meet y'all, you always got some interesting stories to tell and some interesting things going on. So if you were going to drop off somebody at my little station here, well, probably what I would do is I would ask for a where and a when. And, depending on the situation as you described it, I might be there by myself with a gravity cart, or I might be there with a half dozen site security station security men, depending on the sort of package you were dropping off. So tell you what,
Man.
You know how to get a hold of me anytime you want. You guys are into our network, so you decide what you need and let me know, and we'll make that happen.
Bill, it's always a pleasure. If you got anything,
Always a pleasure to see you guys again. I am hoping that you guys will hang around a little bit, and maybe you guys and Mr. Tam up there in the bridge will take a moment. We'll go down to Bill's Pub or maybe Stacy's Place, which is a good spot, and maybe we'll have. I'll treat you to some of our local scotch, which I think you will find is just as good as you can imagine.
Scaramouche, I hope you got a single sister somewhere, because I think I might need to marry into your family. With hair like that.
No sisters, but I can introduce you to my friend Stacy Johansson or Stacy Billington. They're both pretty girls. I used to run with Stacy Billington for a while myself. Now that didn't work out too good, but I think she might be just right up your alley. She's a fine girl.
What's this "or" part? Stacy and Stacy.
Well, you're going to have to convince those two to put the triangle together. That's not my thing, but if you want to give it a shot, you're welcome to. But just be careful. You might end up hearing a sound that sounds a lot like this.
What was that?
Well, it sounded a lot like this.
Ow!
Didn't hear anything.
I heard it. Ow!
What was
the
it?
slap noise.
There's a whip.
Slap noise. All right, Bill. Always thank you. We appreciate you coming out here in person and having this conversation.
No, my pleasure. Want to make
those
sure
people who are looking
guys,
for us, you didn't track down who it was specifically.
we couldn't track down to it. We tracked
down
down the terminal, and we did the regular amount of DNA sniffing and all that kind of stuff. But these are public terminals; anybody can use them. So of course we got the damn phone book.
Well, we can't.
It's neither of your guys. It's not this Ghazi
Yeah.
guy or Ed Moshi. None of their DNA profiles were accorded to that terminal. Plus, I got to tell you, a lot of times the people who run those public terminals, they get those. They get a little funky sometimes, and so they get cleaned fair amounts. So, denuded, demolecularized, they do the whole ionic thing. Usually when you do a DNA sniff on something like that, you're going to get maybe 3 or 4 days worth of stuff. I just don't think we got there in time.
All right. Well, I can't imagine that that they'd still be interested in poor little old us, but you let us know.
Well, it's about 2.5 weeks ago that we caught these queries, so I just wanted to let you know, fair warning, that somebody was doing some go-tos on y'all, and they got at least 3 of your names and the name of your ship.
Okay.
Fair
And
enough.
I hate to say it, when commercial ships pull into Greenpernt system, their names go up on the big board. So if anybody's got an alert going, which we wouldn't be able to check, they'll know you're in system.
Well, I mean, they're alerted for the best cargo runners this side of the Delta Quadrant, right?
made the Kessel run in what was it, 12 parsecs?
12 parsecs,
What I
which is
heard.
So,
which is
Yeah.
distance, not time.
Under.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, at that point, Gin alerts that you got another proximity alert. You guys are pulling into docking ring at Greenpernt Station. Cargo offload teams have been alerted, and you'll be docking soon. Bill goes back to his shuttle, and before you guys can dock in the ring, he pulls off and heads back to shuttle control.
Cool.
And so he's gone. And you guys dock, no problem. And immediately Jin starts getting queries from the people who you've made contracts with from cargo. You probably, you've got a big load of cargo, 135 metric tons, in a couple of different pods. So it's going to take some time. But they've been called, and unloading procedures are beginning. You've got hard lock on the docking ring, and so you can exit the ship as you.
all right. I will put on my Lando Calrissian short cape there to make my wheels and deals.
Do we want to have a bodyguard with you just in case? Although your name was not one of the ones he said was being searched.
I wouldn't say it wouldn't be a bad idea to have somebody at least keeping an eye on me.
I'll go.
I'll be face man out here.
All right.
Okay.
I'll go.
Okay, appreciate it. You can bring your spoon with you.
Coffin and his spoon. Yeah.
All right. Jin says you guys do have a message from one Wen Kawasaki. She requests your presence tomorrow night at Bill's Pub, and there's a string of coordinates. She's
Is it the same Bill's Pub?
it's a
different Bill's Pub?
it's a different Bill's Pub. So as Jin pointed out, there are something like 132 Bill's Pubs on Greenpernt Station, and a little research will show that all restaurants and pubs on Greenpernt Station are either Bill's Pub or Stacy's Place.
Or Taco
Which makes
Bell,
it
right?
really
In the
easy for
future?
Les to keep track of.
Makes it really easy. Well, you guys know that everybody who's born in Greenpernt system, if they're a man, their first name's Bill, and if they're a woman, their first name's Stacy. Their given name Stacy. So that's just one of the weird things about Greenpernt.
In the future, all the restaurants will be Taco Bell. I got it.
But yeah, so of course, when this comes through the invitation, there's a string of coordinates after it that shows the exactly, and you can pull it up on station libraries that has maps and everything. It'll pinpoint right there. It's actually pretty deep in the station. So Greenpernt Station is overwhelmingly commercial, so it's surrounded by docking rings where commercial ships dock, and a lot of the inner ring. Imagine Greenpernt Station is sort of in the shape of like Saturn, okay? You have various outer rings which are for docking and cargo storage and servicing a lot of the commercial traffic that goes through, and there's a fair amount of it. And then when you get in deeper into the station, it's more residential, consumer goods and services for the people who live there. And these Bill's Pubs are there's a couple on the docking ring that cater to like the employees of various larger commercial ships and things like that, but the one that she's sent the invitation for is in the sort of residential area.
Got it.
Okay, so Weber, you're gonna put on your cape and deplane, and Coffin, you're gonna go with him. Where are you guys gonna go?
Well, I gotta go to the Central Manifest place or whatever, wherever the dock master, I guess, has to, to check in and start decargoing.
Okay.
Debarking our cargo.
Doesn't take long for you to get there. You hire. It's a little bit far away from where you guys are docked, but you hire a quick gravity taxi that brings around. These are pretty common. They're automated, and they just kind of go around. A couple of credits, you hop on, and it takes you where you need to go. You get to the place that you're sent to go. The coordinates of this is different from the one that you've been to before. You get there. It's kind of a much smaller office. and
The
it's
kind you could beat a guy with a spoon with. If you're
well,
not careful.
well, it's clustered among other offices. You just figure it's a different
Okay.
place. You guys go in, and there is a guy at, there's a couple of guys at terminals. There's a couple of terminals, and one guy is in there, and he's like, "Yeah, can I help you?"
Yeah, Gin Tonic, registered cargo ship. I have several loads for, ready customers
All
here.
right, Gin Tonic. Let me check the manifest here. Hold on a second. My name's Bill Tiefling, by the way.
Hello, Bill Tiefling. I already suspect you of being sinister since you're a Tiefling.
It's like, let me check the manifest. And he's tapping away. He's like, "Oh yeah, Gin and Tonic got into station a couple of hours ago. Got into system about 3/4 of standard day ago. Everything looks on the up and up. Let me check your manifest here. Do you have any cargo damage take place?"
Nope.
Coffin, give me a intelligence check when you get a moment.
Yep. 2d6 plus 2. Hang on.
Big
So
money,
I've
big money, no
got-
whammies.
So I've got you here for medical equipment and supplies, some heavy metals, including titanium and a small batch of radioactives, and some organic stimulants. Is that correct? Does that match your manifest?
I can't remember, but I'll say so. Yeah.
Let me.
It doesn't have our Ewok pelts and bear porn, so I don't remember what we have.
No bear porn, that kind of thing. So, Coffin, as you're sort of standing behind, you're keeping an eye on Weber, and you're sort of looking around. Everything looks pretty normal, except for two things.
I'll be itching towards my
One-
body pistol. If coffee
Well, you're just talking about this guy. So first, Coffin, you're thinking, man, this is taking a long time. It seems like this guy's got a lot of questions and that kind of stuff. Bill Tiefling has a lot of questions, and it just seems like it's taking a longer time than it seemed. And you happen to look behind him, and it just takes just a moment, but you see what looks to be, at least you think, a paw, a large paw with a ring on it, like a finger ring, slipping back behind a door. In the back.
I see.
Bill,
So anyway,
we all good here?
So do you know what I've got to send a couple of guys over there. The radioactives is going to have to be special capable. I'm assuming they're in sealed. That nobody broke the seals on the covers on that. We hate to have a bunch of nasty radioactive bleeding all over the dock. Can you confirm that you have visual on the crates for those radioactives? Make sure that there's been no damage in transit.
They are pristine as the day they were loaded.
Pristine. All right. So you are authenticating that you have reviewed the crates. Now, let me see here. Oh, damn it. I hate when the computers start to fuck up. It needs to happen right. I'm sorry. This is going to take a minute.
Here.
I'm sorry. This is going to just take another minute or two. Sometimes these things just, I'm getting it. You see, looking around.
Can we? Do I notice anything left? I would say by this time.
No, you're talking to the guy. You're not. Coffin's
Right,
keeping an eye out, and you did notice like a big paw
with a ring
on it. So, Eric, do you do anything? Well, first of all, I know Matt's got his body pistol on. Do you have any weapons on you?
You
have your crossbow?
Ooh.
It's legal, right?
It's well, yeah. I mean, and so not only, I mean, you could. I mean, it's not very big, so it's probably concealable. I'm imagining something that looks less like a traditional crossbow and more like something akin to a short-barreled spear gun.
Well, I mean, a crossbow that can shoot deer is actually kind of big. It's a big, bulky thing.
Well, this is the future, so
I
mean,
space
your
crossbow.
Yeah, this is a space crossbow, so it's probably about 18 inches long, and there's a less of a crossbow bolt and more of like think about it like an underwater spear gun for spearfishing. So it's about that size. It doesn't have the wings like a normal crossbow was, because this is not it's not tension shot. There's actually on the spear. There's a little you trigger it. It automatically does essentially a small gyrojet engine that shoots the spear forward. So there's no reason to have wings on it because you're not using a tension string to shoot.
Let's see. So it's smaller than my carbine.
It's definitely smaller than a carbine. Probably
And it's
half the
legal,
size.
right? It's also
Well,
legal.
yeah,
right?
I mean, it's legal if you're hunting, sure. If
Oh,
you
okay.
just randomly shoot a dude with it, that's probably not.
I just wanted to double check that.
Okay,
We're not fooling around here.
I don't want to come out blasting, and I don't necessarily understand that shooting the bear is gonna solve all of our problems.
I think he was just qualifying that you had a weapon.
Okay.
Sorry?
I was just making sure. I was just checking to see if you guys had weapons. You have your body pistol too, right?
I always have my body pistol.
Okay.
And my smile.
I got my innate charm.
He pulls out the spoon.
I didn't really expect to go on the warpath right away, so I'm gonna say that I don't have my carbine. I don't have my crossbow. I got my knife on me.
Knife. Okay. All right.
A knife.
So do you do anything? I mean, you see this thing. You don't see anything back there, but it's becoming increasingly obvious to you. You can see Weber is sort of getting frustrated with the time that this is taking. The guy's asking a lot of questions and so Weber, you would be like, what? I don't, you sort of get him frustrated, the guy, because he's asking you a lot of questions that typically would not be asked.
Yeah.
And then, then there's this mysterious computer outage, which he's dealing with, that kind of thing. He's like, I'll be done in just a second. I apologize. This happens all the time. I understand your frustration. We'll get done. We'll get you out of here in just a moment. And he's tapping away and that kind of stuff. And you can see him kind of like, and Coffin, you see it. He's kind of looking backwards towards the back room.
Well, it's past midnight.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yep. Time to get in a knife fight with a bear.
Well, so it's past midnight. Do you guys want to stop here? You guys,
it's a holiday tomorrow. I can stay a little longer, but it's up to everybody else. I don't care.
Well,
I'm ready to go to bed.
The thing is,
this could be a nice place to pause.
This would be a good place to stop.
Yeah.
Yes, for Eric, there are no holidays from children.
Yeah, exactly.
I would love to stay up till dawn, knife fighting bears, because that's what I just love.
To be honest with you, I don't know if I have another 6 hours of
just spoon with it.
You'll have to introduce us to this Dawn person again.
Spooning time.
Your new battle cry. Spoon.
All right, so let's go ahead and stop here. This is a good place to stop, and the next time that we play, we will start off in the office of Greenpernt Cargo Amalgamated, and figure out what in the heck is just going on in here.
Next week is the 5th Sunday, and it looks like we're going to do A team, right?
Right now, the votes are for A team, so so that's what I've got on my schedule.
Cool.
Cool.
All right. See you guys later.
All right. Thanks, you guys. Have a great weekend.
Hey, Don, was that a bear claw you were using?
When? Where? What?
That telescopic rod thing you had that you were scratching your knee with?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Awesome.
I love these.
All right, bye guys.
See ya.
Yep.
Gentlemen, good night. Talk soon.
Same thing? Yeah.
Take care.
Yep, same
Good night.
thing.
All right. Later,
See you
dudes.
there.
Bye.